We're going to answer a few letters and whatnot and talk cars, pretty much. What do you say there, Frank?
Yeah, I say let's get right to it.
All right, all right. First thing up to discussion today, grenades, pros and cons.
Grenades, pros and cons. All right. Well, there's so many different kinds of grenades.
True.
We got your concussion,
That's
explosive, fake, flaming oil, flash, flechette, foam, paint, smoke, tear gas, thermite, just to name a few.
I got to be honest, though. I'm a little worried about the thermite.
Yeah, well, who knows?
Who knew? The foam grenade is all right if you don't want to get pregnant. All right, Frank, I'm going to throw a few things by you. You tell me your honest opinion as a consumer and as a gearhead.
All right.
All right, first thing up, mines.
Love them.
Love them. All right, second thing up, flame cloud discharger, pro or con? Your answer.
Ooh, well, the pros here is, you got someone on your tail, you're trying to lose them, bam!
That's true. I like that. You've made a very valid point here. Now, last but not least, the rapid fire tank gun.
Rapid fire tank gun. Love it!
I'm
Put it on.
Yep.
Soup it up.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot it.
Oaktown style.
Thank you. Hey, explain to him how you mounted that anti-tank gun to the front of that Hummer.
Well, I took a torque wrench and I took the hood off the car, right?
Right.
I put it there, I bolted it down, I got some epoxy, and I spot welded some JB weld on there. And then, so that way when it recoils, I don't have to put the car in reverse. I could actually go faster while I shoot.
Now, if you turn on the turbo boosters, is that going to draw power from the gun?
A lot of people think so. That's a common mistake. But what you do is you run multiple generators and/or alternators. I run 16 spark plugs, and that it gives more than enough power to run the stereo and the weaponry.
Can I support a heavy rocket on a 1972 Pacer?
Oh, that's a good question. No. A lot of people, I wouldn't do that because the car is lighter than the actual weapon. You'd have a better time having a bike or a trike or a wagon with a grenade.
All right, Frank, tell me in 2 words or less what you think about these next large bore weapons.
Okay.
All right? Star Shell Launcher.
Do not like.
Mine Flinger.
Mine Flinger, I like.
The anti-pad Mine Flinger.
I gotta be honest with you. Anything that's anti-pads, I'm a little against, to be honest. They've done nothing to nobody.
Smoke Mine Flinger.
It's a good thing to do because, first off, it's a durable product. Everybody enjoys a good flinger.
The outer layer made by Tupperware.
That's true. That's true. Very durable. It will not melt. You can't paint it, though. That's the negative of it. Say you want to put a flame job on one of your mine flingers.
Right, maybe
Can't
some
do
polka
it.
dots.
Can't do it.
No.
Can't do it.
Too bad.
I would go with the oil paint gun. The glow-in-the-dark paint is what I recommend as the professional.
Want to go where all the action is? Then you want Hotters. Hotters, 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 home of the tiny, tiny shorts and big wings. That's right, wings. The best prairie dog wings in Loserville. Check out what some of our hot waitresses have to say.
Ooh, Hotters. Oh, I love it here. I don't wear any pants.
We serve prairie dog wings and watch lots of violent games on the sports channels. Come eat my wings. I mean, our wings.
She's new here, but she doesn't wear any pants either. And she's got big
wings. That's right. We got the best wings in Loserville. Hotters, 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 home of the tiny, tiny shorts and big.
What can you tell me about this ice ammo oil paint gun?
Well, it's a new product. A lot of people are really excited. The word on the street is that, they're kind of hard to get right now. They're the Pokemon of this generation.
Right.
What do you think about the tank gun, the 75mm tank gun specifically?
75mm tank, heat or Hesh?
Hesh.
It's curvy, very out there, and it's good to have when you're walking down the street.
That's true. We're going to open up the phone lines and discuss rockets. First caller.
Hello.
Yes, hi. I have a light rocket, and it's armor-piercing, and it accidentally went off and blew off one of my ears.
Oh, well, listen, have you called 911?
Yes.
All right. Have you put some gauze on it?
Yes.
Have you dipped it in Neosporin?
No.
There's your problem.
That's what I was going to say.
Do that, call me back.
Yeah, call back. Beep. Next caller.
Hello?
Hello. Can you turn your radio down? I'm getting some feedback here in the studio.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted my kids to hear me.
Okay, and your question is, ma'am?
What happens when the door goes boom, 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 boom?
Next caller.
Paul Schwartzky, first-time caller, long-time listener. Think you guys are fabulous. Love what you're doing with the show.
Love you,
Appreciate that, Paul. Yeah.
I got a problem here. I got a 68 Duster, and what I got is, listen to your show last week. You recommended mounting that XM80 on the rear spoiler there.
That's right, yeah.
So what ended up happening is every time I shoot the bloody thing, the car spins out all the control there. I'm all over the highway. I'm spinning at loop-de-loops on the highway.
Honestly, the first thing that pops in my head is that you may need new leaf springs because those older Mopars are known for their rear end sliding, or maybe a posi-track rear end, or you may go with the TH400 transmission.
Also, if you want to go cheap, cinder blocks.
Cinder blocks is a
Put
very
'em in the
good
trunk.
idea.
That makes perfect sense. It really
Spruce it
does. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. You guys, again, one hell of a job you're doing there.
All right, hey, thank you.
Appreciate you calling.
Hello, my name is CC Shonshi. You like my girls? They're always fresh, always nice. They smell good in the arm and smell good in the leg. You like girls? You like my girls? You come to we rub you all over. All girls are guaranteed to have all of their limbs, all of their eyes, and at least some hair. You come down right now. Listen to a fine example of one of my girls.
I so horny.
No, you say it better than that.
I so
You say it with feeling.
I so horny.
Oh, come on. How about someone else?
I so horny. I give you good massage.
That was bad. You do it
No,
again. Here. No more dim sum for you till you do better.
No, I am so horny. Come to me and I give you a massage.
Very good. You like a massage? You come down. You get massage all over your body.
All over your body.
All over your body, on the arm, on the leg. It don't matter. Okay, girls, say something sexy for me.
I'm so sexy.
sexy.
You're both
hot.
bad. Someone else, come here. You.
I am so sexy.
That's better. Much better. Say it again.
I put kung fu grip
Now
on your...
take off your shirt. Say again.
Oh, like this? With the breast show.
Oh, I like this. Girls, go away, please.
I put kung fu grip
I'll be
on
back
your
1
end roll.
second, please. You come down, 2926 Devil Chess Ball right now, and you come get free massage. That's 2624 Devil Chess Ball today. Or call us at 1-800-FEEL-RUB-NOW-GOOD.
Gearhead 96.2. Call us up with your questions. We're going to answer some viewer mail today. It's going to be a big day today. We're going to talk big block engines versus small block engines, 4-barrel or 2-barrel carburetors, fuel injection, tune port injection, or camshafts. Anything, just throw it at us. We got it.
Okay.
Let's take another call.
Let's do that. Hello.
Hi, is this the Jersey Boys?
You got it.
Yes, well, my sons have been listening to your show, and they've been wanting to put weapons on their cars, and I am very appalled at this.
How could you be a pole if you're a woman?
Excuse me, sir, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about here.
I think it's very natural for young boys to want to put weaponry on their automobiles, to be honest. You don't get new sneakers without, getting new socks. The thing is, see, now you're getting all huffy. Now you're coming off all huffy and hoity-toity, We're just, trying to help people out. The reality is people are strapping shotguns to the front of their cars, driving around nuking people. You know what happens to people who don't have weaponry on their car when they get taken on the highway?
I want you guys to know that I am starting Moms Against Car Weapons, and we are going to have a petition and bring it to the council so that you will never be able to be on the show again and promoting weapons.
Well, you heard it here first. We're getting protested by MACWA. Call us up with your opinions. Hopefully they can't take us off the air. We will not be intimidated by MACWA.
Bring it on.
Bring it, yeah. Yeah, I noticed that she didn't say that it was the parents' fault. She's the one there, standing there, saying, yeah, my kids are putting weapons on their car, as opposed to saying, hey, I don't let them do it. Not a word about restrictions or punishments.
Where's the guidance?
Exactly. What I would do, honestly, I'd say, listen, you kids can't have it on your car, and if they disobeyed me, I'd go in there with a white phosphorus grenade and light them up.
Always does the trick.
That's what I'm saying. A little discipline, You got to spank your kids. Some people spank, some people light them up with a point defense charger.
That works. I like to tell them dinner's on and then spray the floor with the oil discharger.
That's funny. I remember last Thanksgiving, I come over to your house and you're sitting there and you're giggling and your wife brings out the turkey and we're all sitting around and I'm really hungry by this time, because I drove there and got shot at the whole way. I finally get to your house. Your kids are running around like a bunch of monkeys and I'm sitting there saying, hey, where's the stuffing? And you start giggling even harder. Boom! A light rocket goes off inside the turkey. I thought that was brilliant. And your kids were crying and they didn't understand why the turkey exploded and you just sat there giggling.
It was so hard to keep that a secret because I knew that was going off soon.
It's a good thing you quit drinking.
Yeah, well, ever since that accident with the surface-to-air missile.
That's true. How'd those stitches end up?
Well, they got taken out early. I got a big scar.
Yeah, your eyebrows grew back, though. It looks great. Honestly, it looks great. I'd like to also say, that next week we're going to be discussing micro-missile launches, armor-piercing, incendiary, chaff, and foam.
In a brand new controversial topic, it is the anti-power plant rocket. It's the normal kind, though. This is really big in the Senate right now.
I'm excited for next week. So join us next week on 96.2 Gearhead Talk Radio. We talk cars all the time.
Every time. You need any questions, you write us at Gearheads, P.O. Box 2357.
724918.
Canaan, zip code 3.
That's us. We hope to hear from you. This is Frank and Vinny signing off.
Take it easy.
Are you looking to lose that pesky 10 pounds? Have you tried all those other diets? Then call Spike's Personal Trainers. We'll steal your food and beat you up. And then, if you still try to eat, we'll shoot you. You'll lose weight. We swear.
Yeah, so we, as everyone knows, we have a demolition car, number 13, that we run at the Paradise City Arena every week. You want to come down, that's fine.
Look out.
Exactly. Try not to sit too close to the arena because we think it's funny to hit cars up into the stands and watch fans try to catch them.
We sling shit.
Remember, this isn't baseball. Don't catch a tire. It's not like a foul ball.
Oh, no.
Because those things, when they hit you, oh, geez Louise, you better run to the popcorn stand and ask Pepe to put you out. You know what I think they need in demolition derbies?
What?
I think they need rodeo clowns. Put a guy in a barrel, he's playing a card game, you sneak up behind him, boom, you light him up. The fans love shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He comes out with a bed sheet that's all red, Toro, Toro, Toro. I hit him with all the force. I'm in fourth gear by the time I whack him. I put him through the uprights, 3 points.
Driving around the arena there, shoot off a homing missile, give him a ride back home.
Kids love that shit. They do. A lot of kids come to the demolition derbies and they always ask. The tried and true question is, hey, can I be in a car with you when it does? All the other drivers say, no, not me. Go ahead, get in the back there, buddy.
Hop in.
There's no seat, so grab onto something that doesn't move. Because here we go. And then, they're all, eventually, by the end of the match, they're all, hey, we're about to get hit from behind. And I get annoyed very easily, so I chuck the kid out as a sacrificial hitter. I got this numbnuts back there chatterboxing me up while I'm trying to get hit in the rear by another car. My radiator's all flushing out. I'm heating up here. And Chuckle Nut here wants to play, some stupid child's game, right? I fire him right out the window, let the other cars bink off him a while. I sneak up behind them. I push him into the third row.
Okay.
You know what I like to do is I like to, just so that the fans remember our car because, it's Frank and Vinny Gear Talk Radio, 96.2 Demolition Derby car.
Sure.
I like to take a lot of duct tape, right? I get a hooker, the ugliest hooker I can find, and I duct tape her to the roof of the car, right? And then I drive around. When I do my victory lap, I drive real close to the outside wall, and all the people in the front seat get to slap her right in the face. Really hard, too, because I do like 60, 70 miles an hour.
It works. The fans dig it.
The fans, a lot of them tell me, they say, that's why we come. We come to do that, and we come to watch you guys wreck cars and whatnot.
We're always the crowd favorite.
Oh, easily. You know what I don't like, Vinny?
What?
I gotta be honest, I'm tired of all these naysayers who are all bitching and moaning about the highway systems.
Ugh.
I'm tired. It's the same song over and over again. It's like, some old lady humming Happy Birthday on an airplane. You just get tired of hearing it, I'm tired of hearing it. People, you gotta understand that the highways are great right now because they got ramps, okay? If they fix these things, there go all the good jumps. All the good jumps.
That's right.
Forget about jumping on top of a building.
Nah.
Cancel that. What do you think, they're gonna build like car elevators? No, they're not. They're gonna fix the highways. They're all gonna be flat. You're going to have that one little bump in the road that you get about 8 inches off the ground, and you're going to think you're, some stunt spectacular guy. It doesn't work that way. Let's leave them like they are, okay? Unless, of course, you're saying let's fix them, and translating the word fix means ramp, then I agree with you.
That's totally different.
If I were designing a highway system right now, hands down, bar none, I would build the roads exactly like they are, with the exception is I would make some of the ramps bigger.
Everywhere.
Well, people don't know what they want. They keep saying, oh, they're too bumpy. Oh, they're too bumpy. The ramps are too big. Some of the bridges don't work. There's potholes. And I don't hear one negative thing in any of that. I'm thinking, maybe the potholes are bad, because you can't jump a pothole, right? But the ramps and stuff are great. Where else? Okay, name another city in the entire country that you can jump a lake, okay? Name another city that it's perfectly legal to drive on rooftops. Remember the positive on the potholes, too. Like, how are blind people going to drive? You know, potholes are just braille on the road for blind people.
Lets them know you need to move over.
Yep, bump, bump, they hit the bump. I'm home. You know, they know. It's 16 bumps, then I take a left. 2 bumps, I'm home. All right? So, now, unless you want to, ban certain individuals from driving, I would, nip it in the bud right now and zip your lip,
It also saves on the street signs.
And you don't need traffic lights when you're airborne. There's no stopping when you're jumping.
No.
Hold up, there's a traffic cop. No, there's none of that stuff. You're there early, every time, all the time. If you're going to call today and, try to tell us that the roads need to be fixed, I got to
save it.
You're not going to get through. You're not. I got to tell you, since I was a little tyke going to Uncle Woody's Fun Park, we always encountered a good jump or two on the way. To be honest, some of the jumps were bigger than the roller coasters, all right?
That was half the fun going to the park.
Exactly.
The ride there.
Where else can you jump up into the air, land on top of a building, chill out for a while with a sniper rifle, pop a few gauchos, then jump down, drive up to the top of a parking lot, jump off that with little kids applauding? That's the thing, too. Let's not forget the entertainment value, okay?
Very important.
You take the roads, you take a hot. So last night I got really drunk and I stole this guy's wheelbarrow, right?
Yeah.
And I'm taking it home because I figure I'm gonna put a small block engine on this thing. That way I can rototill my neighbor's yard. Well, I got arrested. Slow speed pursuit on a highway in a wheelbarrow. And the bad thing is if you wanna try to accelerate with a wheelbarrow, you gotta lean forward a lot.
What's the problem with having a wheelbarrow?
Well, they don't have, first off...
On a highway.
Well, it doesn't have turn signals, so if you were to change lanes, they wouldn't know. There's no seat belts, and apparently perfectly legal to be drunk in one, though.
What about the hand signals? You use hand signals, that's all right?
Yeah, but at night, people can't see it unless you're holding flares, which I did, but they were misconstrued as dynamite, which apparently is illegal.
All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. We're going to take a break, pay a few bills. We'll be back.
Whew. Wow. Tough day, huh, Vin?
You said it, Frank.
When Vinny and me get done with a long, hot day in the studio, we like to kick back and relax with a couple of beers.
But not just any old beers. Beer Goggles Light. Beer Goggles Light is a refreshing blend of hops and barley brewed by people who know that beer serves a purpose.
And that purpose is to get you drunk enough to sleep with pretty much anyone. See, the people at Beer Goggles Light have developed a beer that can actually shed pounds off even the biggest men and women.
So, if she's not cute now, have another Beer Goggles Light. Or you can do what me and Frank do and take a keg down to the Overeaters Anonymous meeting and party down!
Sure, at the beginning of the day, we were sober and sitting in a parking lot with a herd of hoggers, but by the end of the day, we're drunk and having sex with anorexic supermodels.
Thanks, Beer Goggles Light. So don't just sit there. Grab a Beer Goggles Light and get the slap in the fat back. Beer Goggles Light, the light beer for a heavy night of partying.
You're damn right. All right, I'm here with my co-host, Vinny. Vinny, you had an exciting night last night.
Hey, what do you say? You know I did. All over town. I'm in and out. Bars, hopping, throwing down cans.
Yeah, did you get lucky?
Hey, every day I wake up, I'm lucky.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we're lucky we got our own radio show here. A lot of people work in the business or the industry, and they never get to do it. And here, we're two individuals that get to talk about cause all the time. And that is like a blessing, honestly.
Ratings came out yesterday.
Did they? How we do?
Congratulations to the Gear Talk radio station, 96.2. We are 32nd in all talk radio within the Paradise City zone.
I knew we could do it. You set a goal and you believe in yourself and your crew, and we went from 116th to 37th. That is amazing. That is good. Guys, hey, a round of applause for the crew.
For everyone.
Everybody.
Listen, especially you guys out there listening to us.
That's
and
right.
Calling in.
Call in right now, and the caller with the freakiest story involving a car wins a free year supply of Water Snatch burgers.
That's a good prize, people. Man, I could use that.
I thought you couldn't go in there anymore.
They said I was obscene to the mayonnaise.
How could you be obscene to the mayo? I mean, I understand being obscene with the mayo.
Legally, I still can't talk about it, but I will say that I was under the impression and thought the donkey was fully sanctioned and licensed. But I can't talk about it.
No wonder, huh? Call in right now, 555-4327.
What do you say?
Hello, boys.
Not you again.
Okay, listen, I just have a story for your contest. One time, I was driving, and my camshaft froze up. So I had to manually lube it by hand, and it was hard.
Okay, first off, my sweet little mangina, you can't freeze up a camshaft.
And then I lubed it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. All the lines are lit up, so we're just going to take a random one. All right, caller, you're on the air.
Caller, you there?
Yeah. You know, one time I was in this dude's car giving him some oral support.
All right.
When all of a sudden, bam, we got up and got hit by this tornado. But this dude started freaking out because he didn't know there was a tornado. He just thought I was doing him real good, like, you know, jawboning him all special like.
I'm sure he was happy.
So when we landed, I got to charge him $100 extra for the tornado head. Shit. I went and got my hair did.
You, my sweet, are a vision of beauty. Vinny, you know what? I think we got a winner here.
You're telling me.
You mean I won?
That's right, my precious. You are the winner of a free year supply of Water Snacks Burgers. Compliments of Gear Talk Radio.
Oh, I'm getting all flushed. I ain't never won anything before.
Well, my sweet, today's your lucky day.
Oh, my gosh. I'm coming down there. Right now, I'm going to give you boys some complimentary jawbone. And
Well, you better take your teeth out, because I got a big cock, lady.
and it's going to be real nasty and good.
Well, hey, all right. I'd say today's our lucky day, huh, Vin?
Hey, you said it.
It's like scratching off a lottery ticket and underneath there's no money, but there's a BJ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody's a winner today, huh? Vinny, I'm going to give you a free t-shirt.
Oh!
I can't wait for her to get down here and give me some of that vicious-ass tornado head, because personally, I've never had it. Interested, I've read about it in books and magazines, and I've seen a few flicks that had it in it, but never on the receiving end of one. So I'm ready. You know, you could consider my crotch a storm chaser.
That's brilliant.
All right, 96.2. We got to take a tornado head break because I got to get my boys ready. Hey, wake up, guys. There's some tornado head coming this way. Arr.
Listen, we'll be right back, folks, here on 96.2 Gear Talk Radio.
I wonder if we could mic her jaw. We get a sound guy on that? You know, Vin, for years, people have been using banks to cash their checks, oftentimes having to deposit it and wait days until the check clears.
But I don't have a lot of time. I need my money now. What am I gonna do?
Well, you could wait 2 days until the bank trusts you enough to give your money back to you, or you can walk down to Boing, your check cashing solution.
Okay, what if I have an out-of-state check?
You got it. For a small nominal fee, the people at Boeing can cash any check you bring them.
Oh, really? What about an out-of-state check that's 2 years old?
Ka-ching! Cashed!
And I have no identification?
Ka-ching! Cashed!
And I have a criminal history.
Ka-ching! Cashed! The people at Boeing Check Cashing aren't afraid to cash your check. They'll cash any check, big or small.
Man, this place sounds great. Why do people still use banks?
I don't know, maybe they're retarded. And remember, if you knowingly pass a bad check in a state bank, that's a federal crime. But at Boeing Check Cashing, you'll just get your check cashed every time, all the time.
Hey, Boing Check Cashing. You just got yourself a customer.
Ka-ching! Cashed!
All right, we're back. 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Frank and Vinny here, taking your phone calls, reading some letters.
All right, caller, you are on the air.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing this lovely evening?
Doing not too bad. I got an itch.
Well, you better scratch it then.
Yeah, I was trying to, but it's on my ass.
Okay.
I got it. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I have some problems with children in the area ringing my doorbell, so I was contemplating buying some mines. What would be the best kind of mine for a situation like that?
Sir, what I would do is I would go up into the mountains, right? And I'd find me a bobcat or a mountain lion.
Get a big one.
Right? I would, stun it, don't kill it. Strap it to the hood of your car, bring it home, right? Then you get yourself a truckload of sand, right? You spread the sand out evenly throughout the yard.
Be careful with that sand.
You let the bobcat go, right? So when those little kids come up, that bobcat goes crack happy on them and just eats them and then buries them. Next year, you could possibly win Yard of the Month because little kids are great fertilizer. Now, they take about a year to start fertilizing a plant. Sorry, I'm joking with you. Come on. Where are you going to get a bobcat? But what I would do, I would take some detonation mines, I'd spread them evenly out throughout the yard, right? Then I'd sit there and look out your window and wait for those little pricks to come up and try to ring your doorbell.
Ding dong, hello.
And let them ring it. Go ahead, because, you don't want to wait till they get halfway to the yard and blow them up, because the other kids are going to see that. Let the other kids think that the mission was successful, okay? So the kid comes up, he rings the doorbell, boom! You blow his kneecaps off, he's all swimming around, oh, I'm dying, help me. You go out there and kick him right in the balls, release the bobcat.
Here it comes.
Then the bobcat buries the kid, right? Again, yard of the month.
Classic.
And why we're on the subject of mines, let's discuss these right now. Laser mines, trip mines, detonation mines, concussion mines. I always like the concussion mines because it's funny to see someone sit there in the middle of a seizure, flopping around like one of them smallmouth basses you pull out the lake, and he's flopping around like that. You could have him hold your chocolate milk and shake that up real good.
Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about det mines.
The detonation mine, det mine to those on the street. This thing is awesome. I like it. There's something to be said about a weapon that you can launch, or actually you lay down a mine. You lay this down, and then at your leisure, you can make it explode just by pushing your button. Boom. If you want to lay it down for 2 seconds, say they're right behind you. You drop it, boom, you blow them up. Now, if you want to just lay a few down on the corner, tuck around and wait for someone to come around and then blow it up, you can do that. It's an optional thing. At any point that you decide to ignite this, it will work. It's up to you. You do it at your leisure.
I had a few problems going to restaurants. I sit down, I have a little dinner, I ask for the check, all right? I leave all casual like, hey, thank you very much, sir. I enjoyed my dinner extremely. Next thing you know, I'm halfway to the house, boom! No more restaurant.
That's a beautiful way to use them. When I was a kid, we did something similar to that. What we would do is we'd take the detonation mine, we put it right out in the middle of the four-corner stopway, right? And we put it there, and then I'd get this can of tuna, and I'd stick that can of tuna out there, and all these little cats and squirrels and, all the animals of the foresters and shit, they come running, and they eat this thing, and we'd wait till there was a whole lot of them, and then I'd push that button, and I'd blow them all up, and I made my mom a fur coat.
Bam!
For Christmas, and she got it, and she cried, and it was one of the best. She still has the jacket. It's probably the warmest thing she ever had, but thanks to the det mine, I was able to give my mother a great Christmas present and now what we consider a family heirloom.
That's so touching, Frank.
Exactly. And who thought that you could use a weapon such as this around the holiday season? A lot of people are intimidated by weapons, but this one is one that it gives back. You can lay it down, leave it, and then blow it up later on. And it's your decision. No one can tell you. The weapon doesn't make the decision for you. It doesn't say, I'd like to blow up now, sir, please, raise your hand. No, it doesn't do that. It's up to you. You are the judge, jury, executioner on this one, all right? You're the boss. Make the call. Sometimes when I'd be getting chased, I'd drop as many as I could. I'd drop 3, 4, 5 of them, and I'd have this nice little trail.
Okay.
And then I'd just sit back. I'd cut a 180 so I could view where I've dropped them, and in a vehicle chasing me, I'd just sit there and boom, 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 boom. And by the time he hit the fourth one, he was completely engulfed in flames, so I really don't have to worry about a guy who's on fire shooting at me. That's why I just love this weapon. I can't say enough about it.
All right, next weapon we're going to talk about here is the laser mine.
There's nothing that I like better than actually laying down a laser mine. There's something manly about a laser mine, to be honest. It's very sexual, it gets attention. I like to lay my laser mine down in, like, say, an alley. You can do it anywhere now. You could lay a laser mine on a major independent highway, or you could lay it down in an alley. It doesn't matter, because once the guy drives through, it's going to blow him up. And most of the time, what it'll do is it'll blow him up, and it'll lift his back tires completely off the ground. And as we all know, unless you've got a front-wheel drive car, that car ain't going nowhere. Advantage to the guy with the laser mine.
Simple as that. You know what else I like about the laser mine? It's very similar to the mag mine in that you can leave it and forget it, and it does the work for you.
Forget about it.
The benefit is the mag mine's going to go off in a couple of seconds after you drop it. It's just going to happen. You don't have any control over it.
That's the way it works.
Right. With the laser mine, however, it doesn't go off until somebody crosses the laser.
Exactly. It sets up a perimeter, if you will. With the laser, from building to building, you could bounce one off a tree. You can set it up anywhere. So long as the laser stops, then it goes across the street. Now, if a squirrel touches this laser mine, let me tell you, you're going to be eating squirrel for about a week, okay? But the laser mine is one of the better weapons. I actually got my laser mine as an anniversary gift from my wife, and in not the nicest of ways, because I used to sneak out of my house to go clubbing and drinking.
Right.
You know, back when I used to do that all the time, and my wife kept saying, "You snuck out last night." I say, "Hey, no, I didn't. You were sleeping. How did you know that?" Well, she got tired of me saying this, so what she did is she'd take a laser mine and she put it up in the hallway. And so I'm sneaking out, and I'm all gussied up, and I'm walking down a hall. Boom! It explodes, and I'm thinking, what the hell was that? And I look down, and I'm touching, myself, and I'm like, oh, God, thank God all my junk's still there, right?
Right.
Well, the thing is, she could have killed me. That's not really a funny practical joke. But then I'd look up, and there's my wife saying, "You were going to sneak out, you son of a bitch." And I'd have to tell her, "No, I wasn't. I came out here because I got diarrhea. I got the swamp ass, you know?" Just the other day, I used one of my laser mines. I was driving around in Paradise City, just kind of hanging out, day off. And I see them damn South Leaguers, and I fucking...
Hey, easy. That's my mother you're talking about.
All right.
She's a South Leaguer.
Yeah, well,
From way back.
All right, well, I don't have a problem with the way backs. I just got a problem with the new ones because I don't think they respect the trade that they're in.
You got a point.
They're not like your mom. Your mom's a very sweet individual, although she'll kick a guy's teeth down his throat in about 2 seconds, okay? But these guys start flicking me off, giving me the bird, calling me, all sorts of sissy names and stuff like that. So I get pretty pissed off. And I'm not a guy that walks away from shit, okay? I don't do that. I don't play that game. I'm not rolling those dice. So what I do is I drive around a fucking corner, and I lay down one of these laser mines, right? Then I drive all the way around the block, making sure not to drive through my own fucking laser, and I drop down another one. And I say, to hell with these guys. So I start honking on the horn, flicking them off, started rattling off with my minigun. And of course, them steroid freak South Leaguers, they come running right at me. I back that fucking car up and watch them just walk through my lasers. And by the time they could get to me, every one of them was dead. Now, had they looked down and seen the laser, they probably wouldn't have done that. But then, as we all know, the South Leaguers aren't exactly valedictorian Mensa members.
You're right about that.
Truthfully, I wish I could lay about 10 of them on the way home, and then everyone behind me just gets nuked up because I don't like driving in traffic, right?
It's a pain in the ass.
It's beautiful. People don't even know. They say, "Hey, what's that interesting red line there? I don't know what that is." Boom! They're lit up like crazy.
Now they know. They use those at my school.
Really?
Yeah, elementary school. Had a big problem with some of the kids, wanting to skip class, go to the Water Snatch Burgers for lunch. We didn't have off-campus lunch then. So what would happen is after the first bell for homeroom class, they would set up laser mines there with the exits and entrances and whatnot.
That's smart. That really is smart, though.
It was smart until I got a little smarter myself. I found the air conditioning ducts, got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, we used to just pay the Chinese kids to rewire the thing so we could sneak out,
Really?
All right, so we spent a good time talking about the laser mine here. Now I want to jump in head first about this mag mine.
That's a good one.
You drop it down, the car drives over, it attaches itself. This little weapon is very smart. It attaches itself to a car
like a robot.
Then as that car drives away, it explodes a short time later. I think that this is awesome. It's like killing without the guilt because you didn't see the guy die. Technically, you probably didn't kill him.
The mag mine does the work for you.
Yeah, it's a sticky bomb that blows up later on. That's the little rhyme I just came up with.
Hey!
Mag mines are very unassuming, You don't have them sitting there right out on the front porch waving at everybody as they drive by. They sit underneath the car, you drop them, and leave.
And they're not overtly huge either.
No, they're not. You know what? Because they don't have to be. The mag mine is a stealth weapon. A lot of times people drive around and they don't even know they got one on until they hear boom. Then they know. Then they're like, oh, shit. They get about all out before they're dead. And that's why I'm in love with the mag mine. Okay? Simple as that.
Okay, everybody. Here we go. Frank and I are going to discuss concussion mines.
I love this weapon. I think it's so cool because what happens is this mine explodes with a shockwave that launches the vehicles into the air, okay? The explosion will also throw any pedestrians caught within a blast radius of the mine right up against the wall. I mean, it's going to take care of these guys. And the good thing about it is this mine can be seen on the road and is triggered when a vehicle drives over it. So if you're being pursued, drop a few of these because if they hit them, they're going up in the air and everyone's dead, okay? Now, they're going to either have to slalom these or they're going to have to go over them, and their only third choice is to stop pursuing you. So they're the decision maker. Now, they have to decide, do I want to die? Do I want to get all kind of crazy driving, slalom these things like some skier guy would? Or do I just stop and rethink my approach?
Multiple choice.
I also like to refer to the concussion mine as the trampoline mine. Because, remember those parks that they had back in the day? They all closed now. But there was Trampoline World, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And the kids would just go in there and you jump up and down on a trampoline.
Oh, yeah, the jumpy castles.
Yeah, jumpy castles, right? We used to go in there and jump all day until we got, sick and we'd puke everywhere and then we'd, recover and then go back and do it all next day, right?
Sure.
The same thing. This thing will throw you up in the air. Now, I'm not saying, hey, put one of these concussion mines down in the street and jump on it. I didn't say that, okay? So don't shut this station down, okay? But that's kind of, in theory, what this does. When you're in the air as a kid on a trampoline, you can't move left to right to front to back, okay? You can't do that. Now, you take a vehicle and you throw it up in the air, it can't even accelerate, it can't brake. If they're launching a weapon, there's a real good chance that they're not going to be able to target you correctly when they're in the air.
Hell no.
Because it's not an airplane, it's an automobile, okay? This is awesome. Concussion mine, a.k.a. the trampoline mine. I tell you, I love this.
You know what I like to do, Frank, in my spare time? I'm a little bored. Want to spice things up a bit. You know the docks over in Ballistic Canyon? Yeah. They got a lot of ragamuffins roaming around there, whatnot.
Unsavory characters, I call them.
Exactly. Menaces to society. What I like to do is I like to lay a concussion mine in the middle of those guys. Watch them shoot off into the water over there. I'm telling you, it's better than a movie.
I think that's a great idea. We may have to do that on the lunch break today. You know what I like to do with the concussion mines is I'll set them out right in the middle of a major intersection, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And, I'm not chasing anyone. No one's chasing me. I'm just trying to have a little fun.
Sure.
On the weekend, I lay it down there, and the first car to hit it, that's the enemy right there. You blew up my concussion mine. Where do you get off? So I've already got one hit in on this guy. Innocent or not, he's dying, right? So he hits my mine, boom. When he's up in the air and he can't peel out or turn around or hit his brakes, I light him up. And that's that. He goes in the air. When he comes down, he is a carcass.
The grand prize winner.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it on the mines. I hope everyone learned something.
I did.
I'll tell you this. For a guy who thought he knew everything, I learned quite a bit today about mines, and I'm not going to overlook them in my next weapon selection. Laser mines, mag mines, concussion mines.
And the debt mines.
Exactly. The debt mines. They're awesome. They're great. So remember that. And don't be afraid to call us anytime you want. 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. That does it for the mines. Exciting, informative, innovative.
Also, if you maybe have some information, maybe a question that we didn't touch on here today, don't hesitate. Dropping us a line at P.O. Box 23574-918, Paradise City, zip code 3.
Don't be afraid to call us at 555-4327 or the letters GEAR for Gear Talk. All right, we got some exciting things going on today. I'm going to take the next caller that calls in right now. Caller, you're on the air. You have a comment or a question?
Hey guys, I was just calling in to say I love the show, and I got me a tornado over here and a flat cannon on the front, and I'm just driving around and blowing some shit up.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Take the day off, blow some people up. You know what? Now, if it makes you happy, then more power to you. So I don't think that we should judge you. I think, to be honest, if I wasn't cooped up in the studio right now, there's a good chance that I'd be tanked, driving around in my Blade, and, barbecuing a few people with my dashboard hibachi,
Oh, yeah, man, I completely understand. Happiness is a numbers game. The more people you kill, the more your numbers go up, and the happier you are.
Yeah, see, I agree with that, I really do. Vinny, any comment here?
I'm a little confused.
About, what's confusing about, enjoying, your day off by blowing a lot of people up and, just having fun, being reflective, if you will.
Well, I think we lost a little bit of the fantasy.
Yeah, I could kind of see where you're coming with that because, it used to be that, well, just for instance, when I was a kid, I used to sit on top of the roof of my house because my dad wouldn't let me sleep inside. And so I had a lot of time to think. And I'd think to myself, one day I'm going to grow up to be this great guy who's going to have this really kick-ass car and a radio show, and I'm going to blow up people.
Sure.
That's my hobby. A lot of people would say, that's my job. Nah, I don't want to do that. That's my hobby because I enjoy that.
Right.
And now here I am. And I'm not afraid to say this, that I enjoy blowing people up. People piss me off. I hit them. I hit them with whatever I got. I like to hit them with the scatter gun because that really freaks people out because it's so loud. Boom! And they, oh God, then they're dead. Then they don't know. I enjoy that. Am I a criminal? No, I don't think I am.
I don't think you are either.
I understand the fantasy thing, though, because that is kind of, brought it down to our level now. It's not this unreachable goal. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Merlin. I wanted to be, a guy who could cast spells and do all that kind of Aya Newt shit. But that's not realistic. I can't become one of these guys because, open the paper. No one's hiring for Merlins.
It's a dying breed.
It really is. And, to be honest, you'd have to work a lot to be a Merlin. I mean, you'd be in the, casting spells and whatnot constantly. It's like full-time work, for part-time pay, and I'm not going to do that. So I got this radio gig. But what I'm saying here is I think, sir, don't judge yourself. I don't want you to feel guilty. I don't want you to sit at home saying, yeah, am I doing the right thing? Save the trees. It's not about that. You need to know that you are doing a service because a lot of these punks that you're wasting on the street are assholes to begin with, right? Am I right?
Hell yeah, you're right. Matter of fact, here comes some assholes right now. Hey, I gotta go. Gotta waste these motherfuckers.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for the call. Hey, again, another great call right there.
Great stuff.
A man who's not afraid to drive around listening to the best radio station, number 37, I might add.
96.2, Gear Talk.
555-4327. As some of you listeners may know, last night, my wife decided to leave me.
No, Frank.
Yeah, she...
Sorry to hear about that.
I wasn't too sorry.
No?
Yeah, about halfway through, I'm divorced. I was like, okay, go bye. See you later. Go ahead there.
That simple.
I already had his shit packed, honestly. I was kind of hoping.
Really?
That's the only reason
You
why...
saw it coming?
Yeah, that's the only reason why I crapped on a mom-in-law,
Ah, Frank, I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's not really my fault either. It's hers.
What happened? I'm curious.
Well, all right, we're sitting there, and we're watching, the kids play outside, and, then there's some old people, and I said, hey, let's walk over there and stab one of them. And she gets all in my face, hey, that's wrong, and whatnot. And so I say, all right, what do you want to do? And she wants to go inside and make love.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of this woman. I love her, but I'm not a fan. So I go inside and we cook up some stuff and we get into bed and she says, say something sexy. And I said, all right, I think you're stupid. And she says, that's all you got? And I says, and I think you suck. And sometimes in the morning your breath stinks. And so I'm talking dirty. Things are getting real hot now and I'm laying it on thick. And I says, I like how your toes are hairy. And she got mad. She asked me to talk dirty. Yeah, but that's the thing. Is it my fault?
But she asked you.
Yeah, and the thing that did it is like, all right, we're making love, and we're there, and she says, well, say something nice, about me. And I said, all right.
Why doesn't she make up her mind?
I don't know. She's confusing the hell out of me.
Right.
So I'm thinking about, she says, say I look pretty, I've lost weight. And I says, okay. So I'm racking my brain. And I says, oh, it looks like you got a grizzly bear in a leg lock. And she slapped me for that.
What?
For a moment, I almost shot it with my sniper because I honestly thought a grizzly bear had snuck up into our sleeping bag and crawled up between her legs because it was hairy. I think we still have troops in there. There's like a POW camp in there. I wanted to go in there and, save some people, but I didn't want to go in there and get lost.
Yeah, because sometimes people don't come back.
Yeah, it's not too bad because now I'm a single guy. I got a good car. I got a good job. Radio hosts call me all the time, looking for free stuff. Of course she's going to call me probably tomorrow, wanting to get back together and stuff like that. You go home, you get to do what you want when you want to. Me, on the other hand, I'd walk in and she'd be sitting there sweating. And I'd say, you get off that couch, you fat piece of shit. And then she would just yell at me for no reason at all.
She'd yell at you?
For no reason. I walked in, I didn't want to argue, very peacefully said, stop sweating on my couch, and all of a sudden she attacks me. I don't understand women sometimes.
Like you were the one sweating.
you always have to blame the woman because it's her fault. That's how I look at it. You know, guys are into cars and guns and beer and scratching, you know, stuff like that. The classics, you know, more of a cerebral thing, if you will.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one, Frank.
Women, on the other hand, are into yelling at you, complaining, scratching. They like to scratch as well, and telling you what you can do and when you can do it, and telling you when your friends can come over and when they can't. They're like the vagina police.
Vagina police?
Yeah, vagina police. And, you know, I'm a SWAT team, suburban white alcoholic trash. And she's got a problem with that. So, you know, I think it's like water and oil, you know. So I had to go. So now, single man, I got to look for a new place, you know. I was thinking, you know, maybe get a place over in Blister Canyon or something, you know, something nice. Something that says, Frank lives here.
And is single. Give us a call, 555-GEAR.
Yeah, the phone's just lit up. All right, hey, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, my name is Delicious. I was wondering if you could give me some advice. I have to travel in the lava falls quite often. I'm having problems when I come back to my vehicle after I've done all my errands. These damn gauchos keep stealing my expensive Sparkle Boy rims off my new piñata.
Oh, no.
And well, it's very irritating, and I'd like to know if there's any way to deter this, to prevent it from happening. I don't know. Just whatever advice you have, I'd appreciate it. Love you so. Thanks.
All right, Liza. What I would do is I would get yourself some locking lugs. A lot of people use these, and they only use one lug per tire. But what I always advise you is you buy 4 different sets. For each tire, have a different key, right?
Smart.
That way the gauchos, they can't come up there. Unless they have 4 keys, they cannot get all 4 of your tires, okay? And tires are one of the biggest investments you can make for your cars. But watch out for them tricky gauchos, because a lot of them can suck the bolts right off your tires. So, you know, I used to race professionally for like 2 years, and I used to have a gaucho pit crew. Let me tell you what, those little guys, they are quick and fast.
How did that work?
It didn't work much. They sat around tanning all day and rubbing each other with jellies. You know, I'd be down a few laps, whatnot. You know, you can win or lose a race by pit crew. I'd pull up and I'd say, I need 4 tires, guys, quick, and jack the spoiler down. And so they go to work. They start taking the tires off. One of the guys puts his big arm in there, and he puts a purple Jesus air freshener on my dash in the front there. And I'm like, okay, how's that going to make me win the race, guys? Let's get the tires on. I look over. They're running across the field with my tires. And I'm thinking, hey, guys, I need them on the car. I can't win this race with rims. You know, and so I had a pit meeting that night. I said, guys, come on. The gauchos, you know, I'm going out on a limb here hiring you guys, you know, and you're stealing my tires every race. Every 8 laps, I lose 4 tires, okay? I'm losing money here. Even if I won every race, I still couldn't afford the tires that you guys are using to build rafts to float back to the homeland, okay? I don't understand that, you know. Let's be professional, guys. Work your way up. You know, they don't race riding lawnmowers here. This is professional racing, guys, you know. Let's put the tires on a car, get me going, okay? When I pull up into the pit, don't be sitting there tanning it up and drinking. You know, turn the margarita machine off. I tell you what, if the margarita machine needed tires, that thing would be running good. They put a spoiler on that bitch, and one of the gauchos was up on the front screaming like a goddamn siren.
You know, looking at him, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but so that would be my advice. My advice, locking lugs or find a new parking spot. You know, get a garage, get a car alarm. Hey, there's one right there. You could hot wire straight off the battery with wire. You jink it up against the back of the lug nut right there, right? And so when someone were to touch your tires, they're going to get 12 volts straight up the booty. You understand what I'm saying? And,
oh, that's brilliant.
Hey, people do it all the time. Now, you're going to have problems when you blow a tire. You're going to get a nice little juice on you before you can fix it. But hey, just take it down to Earth, Wind, and Tires. Those guys, they won't know. Half of them are drunk anyway. All right, next caller, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. You're on the air.
Hello, my name's Mac.
How you doing, Mac?
I'm doing good.
All right, hey, are you drinking?
No, I'm not old enough to drink.
Mac, how old are you?
I'm 4.
Mac, you're 4 years old, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you can use the phone?
Uh-huh, all by myself.
Wow, got a little Einstein over here. All right, Mac, you have a question?
Wait, yeah. I want to know how to put a flat cannon on my trike.
All right, I'm not really sure what a flat cannon is. You mean flat cannon?
White.
Oh, well, you want to put it on a trike. Let me ask you this. How much does this trike weigh?
I would guess probably about 175 million pounds.
All right, so I'm guessing about 4 pounds there. The only problem is by putting weapons on a trike is if you have, like, let's say you put a scattergun on it, right?
Right.
You know, crowd separator.
Uh-huh.
You launch that thing off, and you're going to find yourself 6 feet into the next building. It's going to launch you backwards, all right? There's problems with that. You're going to have to figure out how to get around that. Because
got to counterbalance the recoil.
Exactly, because you're going to find yourself with a tire right up your doo-doo.
Oh, that's not fun.
No, it's not. Mac, what got you interested in weapons?
Well, my parents, they have weapons all over their house. Sometimes I pick them up and play with them. They leave me alone.
Yeah, that sounds like fun there. You know, when I was a kid, interesting, we used to go up into my treehouse, and we'd make these Molotov cocktails, right? And then a postman would come by, and we'd drop them on him. And he got so mad, he'd be on fire, and he'd be screaming, "Hey, someone put me out!" And my cousin Vinny, he'd pee on him.
Hello!
And so, yeah, needless to say, we didn't get any more post guys over the house, so we haven't got bills forever. So my dad was very happy about that.
We did make him drop all the subscriptions to the porn mags, though.
Yeah, we got those. We made sure we had to go down and pick those up.
Pay dirt!
You know, Mac, I gotta be honest with you. It's very exciting to see that the youth today interested in weaponry.
Watch out.
All right, there. He's a crazy little guy.
Fantastic.
You know, we're hiring for interns down here, Mac. You know, you could come down and work for us.
Consider it done.
All right, listen, you come down. The address is P.O. Box 2357-4918, Paradise City, zip code 3.
I'm jumping on my twike right now. I'm on my way. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Hey, that was an exciting call there.
You know what? It's reassuring.
It is.
When you get a phone call like this one. You know, gives you faith in the future.
Yeah, you know, just when you thought, that things are going downhill, everybody's killing everybody.
Right.
Then you get a call like this, and it makes you kind of sit back and really go, there is hope that one day it's not going to be so bad. Kids will rise up with their weapons and start controlling this beautiful land that we have. And I think Mac is very inspirational.
That's why we're 37th in the ratings.
That's right. People like Mac.
Yeah, not only do we answer questions about vehicles and weaponry, we get a little deeper.
That's right. We help the youth. I like and this may sound egocentrical, but we do help the youth. When you look at it from afar, a lot of people say, yeah, you guys are just constantly talking about, blowing people up and hitting people with cars and stuff like that. But I think we go beyond that. When someone like Matt calls up and has a question, we help. We reach out to the kid. We almost give him a hug, if you could do that on radio, which you can't. But that's not my point. My point is that we help that kid. And one day that kid is going to go into a bar and blow someone up. And I hope he thinks about us, honestly. I'm getting a little emotional, but that's all right.
It's all right. Take a second. Control yourself. Listen. You're listening to 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. 555 Gear. Call us up. We're going to take a break.
Want to go where all the action is? Then you want Hotters, home of the tiny, tiny shorts and big wings. That's right, wings, the best prairie dog wings in Loserville. Check out what some of our hot waitresses have to say.
Ooh, Hotters. Oh, I love it here. I don't wear any pants.
We serve prairie dog wings and watch lots of violent games on the sports channels. Come eat my wings. I mean, our wings.
She's new here, but she doesn't wear any pants either. And she's got big
wings. That's right, we got the best wings in Loserville. Hotters, home of the tiny, tiny shorts and big wings.
All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio, 555-4327, or the word gear. If you want to write us, P.O. Box 2357-4918, Paradise City, zip code 3. I'm excited about this next call, and I think you will be too, Vinny. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, hello, Vinny. This is your mother.
No, don't. I told you, don't call me while I'm on the air.
Yeah, I'm calling because I haven't talked to you in so long.
Yeah, that's right, because I got a job. It's called radio.
Yeah, but you don't work that much. You could call your mom.
Frank, I am a very busy person, what with all the commercials.
He can't even call his mother anymore.
Mom, I call you.
You called me last month, Vinny, last month. I could have fell down. I could have been attacked by a bunch of Meshuggah gang members. I could have been attacked by my 12 cats, for God's sake. But you wouldn't know. Because you never check up on me.
Yeah, I check on you. Plus, I figure Mrs. Dingleheimer next door would announce it to the whole fucking neighborhood if anything happened.
Why can't you be a good boy like Frank here, Vinny? He loves his mother.
You know, Vin, I go by my mom's house at least once a week, and I probably call it, probably every day, to be honest. Why can't you?
You're full of shit.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I go by at least once a week and make sure I call, because it's a crazy world out there.
I just want you to know that your room's always ready for you if you decide to come back home and take care of your poor mother.
You should feel guilty, and she's really good at doing that, too.
All right, Mom, easy. I'm going to let you go, all right? Me and Frank will swing by this afternoon and make sure everything's all right.
Thanks, Miss Dadamoch.
Okay, toodaloo. Bye-bye, boys.
Caller, you're on the air. How you doing?
Hi, is this Frank and Vinny from Gear Talk?
Yes, it is, ma'am. Do you have a question and/or a comment?
Yes. My son has been listening to your show, and he wants to put weapons on his tricycle. And I am very appalled at
How
this.
could you be appalled if you're a woman?
Excuse me, sir. This has nothing to do with what I'm calling about here.
You know, I think it's perfectly natural for little kids to want to put weapons on their trikes, because, think about it. You don't go out and buy new sneakers without getting new socks, a whole new outfit, right?
Figures you would say some garbage like that. You belong in the trash can.
See, now, you need to calm down because you're coming off all huffy-puffy, you're getting all hoity-toity there. I don't think you know the reality of the situation. There are people out there strapping weapons to their car and blowing everyone up here. You know what happens? You know what happens to people who don't have weapons on their car? They get blown up and killed all the time.
I just want you to know that I'm going to start Mothers Against Car Weapons, and I'm going to petition it and take it to council so that you guys can talk about this stuff on the radio. You'll never have a show again.
Well, you heard it here first. We're getting protested by MACWA. Call us up with your opinions. Hopefully they can't take us off the air. We will not be intimidated by MACWA.
Bring it on.
Bring it, yeah. Yeah, I noticed that she didn't say that it was the parents' fault. She's the one there, standing there, saying, yeah, my kids are putting weapons on their car, as opposed to saying, hey, I don't let them do it. Not a word about restrictions or punishments.
Where's the guidance?
Exactly. What I would do, honestly, I'd say, listen, you kids can't have it on your car, and if they disobeyed me, I go in there with a white phosphorus grenade and light them up.
Always does the trick.
That's what I'm saying. A little discipline, You got to spank your kids. Some people spank, some people light them up with a point defense charger.
That works. I like to tell them dinner's on and then spray the floor with the oil discharger.
That's funny. I remember last Thanksgiving, I come over to your house and you're sitting there and you're giggling and your wife brings out the turkey and we're all sitting around and I'm really hungry by this time, because I drove there and got shot at the whole way. I finally get to your house, your kids are running around like a bunch of monkeys, and I'm sitting there saying, hey, where's the stuffing? And you start giggling even harder. Boom! A light rocket goes off inside the turkey. I thought that was brilliant. And your kids were crying and they didn't understand why the turkey exploded and you just sat there giggling.
It was so hard to keep that a secret because I knew that was going off soon.
It's a good thing you quit drinking.
Yeah, well, ever since that accident with the surface-to-air missile.
That's true. How'd those stitches end up?
Well, they got taken out early. I got a big scar.
Yeah, your eyebrows grew back, though.
I always wanted to do a TV show where you take a 4-year-old baby, right? Okay. From every walk of life, you got them all. You got a melting pot of baby, right?
Okay.
Take them and put them on a big mountain somewhere in the jungle.
Okay.
Leave them.
Leave them.
The last one standing gets $1 million.
That is a TV show I'd watch.
They're making tents out of diapers, they the ones that just play all day, well, they're not gonna last.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, one of the guys, he sits over there and he's the only one that's potty trained, so, he doesn't have to sleep in his turd, that attracts animals and whatnot.
Sure.
I would pay to see that. Toddler, Island or something like that.
One of them better learn how to make steroids quick.
That's true, because they don't have a chance, they could get eaten by like a squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're a nut or something like that. Tuck them up in a tree, you never find the guy.
Watch out for the blue crabs.
Yeah, I would do that, though. I would watch it. It'd be fun just to watch them cook. Because, at that age, they're all about fire. They'd light the fire, the food would be cooking, and then one of the kids would grab the matches and burn down the village. Just cuz. And then he denied he did it. He said, I didn't do it. And we got you on tape.
Busted.
You did it. That's some other survival kid. That's not me.
Prove it.
Can you imagine being on an island with 8 kids?
No.
I wouldn't either.
I can't imagine being in a daycare with 8 kids.
Nope, not even one, to be honest.
No.
They always ask those stupid questions. Why is the sky blue?
Right.
How come birds fly? How come you drink so much? Why do you always yell at my mommy?
Mind your own business.
Exactly, kid. Go get a newspaper if you want it to be informative.
You want to live on an island?
Yeah. You could be on
Shut
the
up.
show. Exactly. I say move them. Like one time I made my kids sleep outside to teach them the value of $1. You know, because they said, Dad, the roof is leaking. Aren't you going to fix it? And I says, hey, I worked all day. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go to sleep and then I'm going to call a repairman to come do it. And they said, oh, Dad, you can't fix it? And I said, nope, I tell you what, now you're sleeping outside until the roof is fixed.
You fixed that problem,
Exactly.
didn't you?
He was 6 years old and he says, I don't know anything about roofing. I says, well, you know what? You can't come in until you learn. Needless to say, about 18 months of sleeping out in the front yard really rubbed off on this kid. I got a new roof out of it, which I didn't have to pay for. Now he doesn't say a word to me. He doesn't speak. If the toilet could explode on his face and he wouldn't come say nothing to me, he'd say, oh, it just doesn't flush right. Something like that, because he knows you're sleeping outside.
But I bet he can sling a hammer now, can't he?
Exactly. You know, you learn a trade.
He knows how to drive a nail.
To teach him to drive, I locked him in the garage for a month. And I locked him and I said, you have to learn how to start this car and drive through the garage door to live. And I'll be damned if a month later he didn't know how to drive that car.
He figured it out, huh?
sure
Carbon
did.
monoxide didn't affect him that quickly, huh?
Not really. He just slammed right through the garage door and then, of course, well, now he broke my garage door. Another month outside.
Now he gets to repair that.
Exactly.
But when he gets 10 years old, he'll know how to do that, won't he?
Exactly. By then, I hope him to be a foreman on a construction site, something good like that.
At least.
Build his own house, move out, have some ugly kids.
He'll be on that path.
Exactly, like his old man.
All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Frank and Vinny in the studio discussing weapons, giving you everything you need to know about every weapon possible.
That's right. It's been a great day, guys. I mean, it really is very informative on the calls. And kudos to Vin over here for knowing a shitload about weapons, huh?
Thank you very much. Frank, you no slouch yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks, You got another weapon here I see that you got on your list.
The flamethrower.
I really believe that it's a versatile weapon. Anyone can use it. Our little nickname here in the studio, we like to call it the dashboard hibachi. Okay, let's say this, that you're driving down the street and all of a sudden this truck cuts you off, right?
It'd be the last thing he did.
Now, you don't want to launch a weapon off that's going to wake everyone up or get the law dog attention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what doesn't make noise? Flamethrowers. They don't make any noise. You hear a... That's about it. Somebody thinks, hey, is someone barbecuing? Yeah, that guy right there is.
And he's almost done. Hey, can I get some potato salad with that?
If by some reason the flamethrower genie came down and said, here's a flamethrower for free, I would not kick this weapon out of bed.
Definitely not.
The good thing, too, is, pedestrians, okay? You really don't want to waste a bullet on a pedestrian. That can get expensive, right?
Right.
The flamethrower, fire is free, my friends. Fire is free. And you know what I like? I like the smell. I gotta be honest, I like the smell of the flamethrower.
There's just something about it.
It makes you dizzy.
Dizzy with love.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is I'm not a real nightlife, go to the clubs kind of person. I don't play board games. I don't like to really, do a lot.
I know you don't, Frank.
But one thing that me and my wife enjoy doing is, on a cold night or even a hot night, it really doesn't matter the temperature, we kind of bond together we get in my old car.
Uh-huh.
We light that flamethrower up and we drive around and we cook people. Well, we have a tremendous giggle about this because that's how we met. I accidentally cooked her dad and she was like, well, I need a ride home. And then I banged on the way home and next thing you know, married.
What a bonding experience.
Well, it's love, but what we do is she tends to she likes to cook bald men. She will be driving, shopping around,
All right.
We'll see a bald guy. She says, honey, pull over. And I says, honey, we don't have time. She says, let me do them. And I say, all right. And the funniest thing is she gets a giggle out of this. She will cook the guy and he'll come running forward saying, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? And my wife will look right at the guy and go, hey, honey, look, pork, the other white meat.
I like that, the other white meat.
Yeah, and to save money on firecrackers, for instance,
right?
You could just get yourself a big jug of gas, light that up, back up in reverse, and watch that puppy explode.
You know what else? If you don't have a tank of gas, just light one of the vehicles up.
That's true.
They got a full tank of gas, don't they? Or at least a little bit if they're driving.
There you go. I never thought of that. See?
I got a little extra time to sit around and think about these things.
And just because you brought it up, anytime you want to come out with us and, light the flamethrower off, we don't mind. We're not one of those couples that says, hey, we need our alone time. You're always welcome to come because, three's a crowd.
You mean it?
Oh, I totally, from the bottom of my heart, if you want to come with me and my wife to cook homeless people or nomads, that's fine with me. You know?
All right, it's a done deal. Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, I'm going to be riding around with Frank and his wife. We're going to be cooking people.
That's right. And this is another little wife joke here. My wife thinks it's funny. She'll walk up, she'll drive up to a prostitute, and she'll say, "Hey, honey, how much?" And as the prostitute's walking over, my wife will scream out, "Brazilian wax," and light her up with the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, they go away hairless.
Hey, it's cheaper than a salon, isn't it?
It's a whole lot cheaper. And fun. That's the thing. It's fun. There's nothing wrong with flamethrowers. A lot of people say I don't like them because it heats up my car, or I don't like it's a brutal way for people to die and stuff. And I think,
no,
you're crazy. It's not brutal. It's very friendly.
Yeah. So listen, if you see me and Frank and his wife out this weekend, give us a honk. Yeah.
Yeah, you honk. We'll cook you. Some people like to play backgammon or checkers. I don't like to do that. I'm not a board game type of guy. I do, however, like cooking people in the middle of the night when they're not looking. To each his own, and to own a flamethrower is a glorious thing.
Fellas, it's 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. If you'd like to call in, talk to us, give us a shout out, 555-GEAR or 555-4327. Right now, before we take some phone calls, we're going to continue talking about some of the weapons.
Which brings me to one of my favorite weapons. See, I'm a big proponent of the scattergun. The scattergun to me is like, it's like a good steak. It's meaty, you can enjoy it, you don't have to rush yourself. I'll tell you this, with a scattergun, you don't have to shoot at someone 25 times and go, I hope I got him. You shoot a scattergun pretty much once, and I promise you're gonna get him if you're even remotely close.
A blind guy could shoot this thing.
That's true. A scattergun, you're launching out a whole lot of big steel balls at them, right? And I'm a big fan of that. Anytime you got 120 steel balls screaming at you, you're either in a chorus line or you just got shot at with a scattergun.
Right. If you're going to use the sniper rifle, you got to be in one spot.
Yeah.
You got to be still. You got to aim. You got to look. You got to do this, that, the other. Scattergun, all you got to do is put pedal to the metal and squeeze the trigger.
That's true. And who has time to sit around and wait? Oh, here they come.
Make sure they're in the middle of the crosshairs.
I got all day to wait. You don't have to do that. You pull the trigger, person goes down, you're home eating steak.
With gravy.
Boom. Scattergun's cool. What I would like to do with my scattergun is if I could get one of those PA systems for my car.
Oh, yeah.
I would sneak up on people, and then I'd just, into the PA, I'd yell, scattergun, and boom, and I'd light them up. I'd give them about a half second, to run, and if they didn't, I'd take their feet off.
Hey, you're a lot nicer than most people. You give them a warning at least.
I enjoyed the chasing them down, even though it lasts about half a second with a scattergun, because the scattergun always gets the job done.
You could sneak up on them if you wanted to, but what fun is that?
Well, the good thing, too, is if you have two cars driving side by side in front of you, you could actually hit both of them. You don't have to, I'm going to kill this guy first, then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get this guy. So long as they're driving close to each other in a close proximity, you're going to hit them with the scattergun. It's going to work.
All right, you're listening to 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. We're going to take a break, pay a few bills. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back to 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. As we told you earlier, we were going to answer some letters. And boy, I'll tell you this, we got a lot of letters this week. And we must have got 6 or 7 of these. And that means that you guys are out there listening, and we appreciate you. So lick a stamp and put it in the mail, guys. This is a very special moment for us here, because right now, Vinny is going to do a dramatical reading of an actual fan letter. Vinny, the stage is yours. Action!
Thank you, Frank. This letter comes from Gary Romano from Blister Canyon. I've been driving a tub since before the big one, so I've seen it all and then some. It used to be the only thing you needed to worry about was whether or not the cop was going to believe you weren't doing the mounds of coke that were always in the back. Now you gotta worry about everything. But thanks to me, you'll never have to worry about those blood and brain stains again. Just mix 1 part battery acid with 6 parts fresh acid rain. Apply to stained area or areas and scrub hard. Repeat until no stains remain. May eat seats. Just thought I'd pass along the info. Love the show.
Yeah, the letter sounded more like an infomercial, you know? I don't need an infomercial for this stuff, you know? All of a sudden, this guy's gonna come out and cut a can in half with this super knife and then go over to a tomato, slice that up. You know, I just need a sandwich here, buddy. Then some English guy's gonna come in with some whacked-out sweater and a bad accent and tell me that I gotta have these knives. They're the knives of the future. Well, you know, the knives of the future, you could just stick them right up your ass, because I don't need them. I'll use my old switchblade, cut me a hoagie, I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. You know, I could have used this a couple of weeks ago. I can tell you that much. I'm cruising through Blister Canyon over there by you, Mr. Romano, and I run over a hooker. All right? Well, actually, I hit her because she gets stuck on my grill, right? I can't get her off. I'm swinging back and forth. You know, I'm blasting her with the flamethrower. She's sticking on. There's guts going all over the place, sticking on the back seat. Will it still work after a long period of time? That's my next question.
Yeah, that's an important question, because we all know how hard it is to get sticky hooker pussy off your car. You could scrub and scrub and scrub, but that stuff does not come off. It's like, vagina napalm.
You know, the worst stains are the set-in stains.
Yeah, well, I try not to set in them. I make them sleep in it, though. Yeah, you know, the bad thing about the hookers is when you nail them, man, they just flop in the wind, you know, like some, bad bumper sticker, that come off halfway through traffic.
Sure.
I had claw marks on the top hood of my car for a while because this hooker wouldn't shut up when I hit her, and she's bitching, pissing, and moaning, and I'm saying, hey, don't put your blood on my car, and she gets all pissed off. She's trying to crawl into the cockpit, for safety and whatnot. I slam on the brakes. I launch her right into the river. There you go. Now scrub up.
I think I'm going to file suit against Mr. Romano for being late on the letter.
I could act as your attorney. Mr. Romano, could you please stand? He stands up. I say, hey, your letter was 2 weeks late. Our car's screwed up. Punitive damages. He says, I didn't know. I just wrote a letter, and then we execute him.
Sustained.
Motion to move to the bar.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was cruising around Blister Canyon last night looking for some ladies.
Right, good place to do it.
Well, it's funny, I'm always interested in the type shit they yell, and I just love that, because they're chatty women, and I'm about that. I like to talk to them.
Yeah, trying to get your attention.
Yeah, one of them walked up last night and said, hey, big boy, and I said, what do you say, big puss? She didn't like that. Yeah, you gotta talk to him, kind of like that. And I was, racing away because she was throwing, stuff at me and screaming, trying to get a pimp over there to beat my ass. So I'm on the... Now I'm on the getaway, I'm racing down the streets, and one of her friend hookers runs out in the middle of the street, and I peg her with the front of my car, and she's sitting there up there like some big vagina spoiler, totally messing up my top end speed. You know what I mean? How can I make a clean getaway when I got this giant hooker just sitting there flapping in the wind like one of those raccoon tails on an antenna?
Move, bitch, get out the way.
Yeah, whoa. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe it. I mean, a giant vagina was sucking up all the air. It's like a big vagina spoiler. I can't drive like that, you know what I mean? So what I do, I gun down on the brakes and send her ass flying. You gotta go. She did, too. And I flip back around and I drive up and they say, hey, $50 make you holler. And I say, all right, here's $50. And I go out there and I smack him right in the face. That made you holler, didn't it, dumbass?
You could have saved the $50.
I take it back. I don't give it to him.
I got you.
It's a prop.
Good choice.
So I roll up to this one and she says, hey, I graduated from Handjob University. And I said, what? Well, I'm going to get out of this car and you can be Magnum cum loudest. She didn't like that, though. But, $50 makes people like you a lot, Then, again, I take the money back because, again, it's a prop. It's prop money. It's not even real, That's why I like dumb hookers. Don't go with these real smart, uppity ones that used to be teachers and whatnot.
They'll take advantage of you.
Exactly, and they're good at math, right? Find a one that doesn't know. Drop a few nickels down and say, hey, how much money did I drop? And when they can't count it, there's your whore. That's the one you want, because you could give her a belt buckle and an eyelash, and you could nail her all day. She wouldn't even know. She'd think that she was, she'd hit the big time. Hey, lottery shit, you know what I mean? You give her a can of peas and a beaver pelt, and, she'll live with you for, like, weeks, And that's a good deal, because you can get peas everywhere. Hell, you could grow a garden in the back, and she thought you'd invented money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. If you want to give us a call, it's 555-GEAR or 555-4327. Frank?
So Vinny would like to read a dramatic letter at this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Vinny.
This letter is from Julie Danfield in Paradise City. I'm a single mother of 3, and second rotation on the neighborhood carpool. Once a month for a week, I pile 9 brats into the Brady and haul them to and from 4 different schools/daycares. Driving and discipline of 9 at the same time is impossible. Or is it? Your show is the only thing that keeps me sane. I'd appreciate any help.
And that concludes a dramatic reading of a fan letter as read by Vinny. That was a good read.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you.
good at that. I can see why you do radio, I tell you that.
I've been going to a dialect coach.
That's awesome. Hey, do your Italian guy.
Hey.
That was awesome. It was like you were in the room. All right, so let's, answer the letter here. This is a good letter, It is. You could always sell your kids. A lot of people buy them. They will. There's a market out there. You could sell the kids, get yourself a cool car.
They're worth a lot more these days.
Especially if they can work. Like if they're good with their hands, they're good welding or building stuff. A lot of kids they get building blocks. They do those. Why can't they do it for a living, huh? Put them out there. Get them a hard hat. Get some work boots. Let's go to work, kids.
I knew a 3-year-old that could drop a hammer on the nail every time.
I met a 2-month-old once that could put drywall up. The lady's got a lot on her plate, obviously. The Brady is
I don't know how she does it.
I don't either, the Brady. What do you think about the Brady, Vin?
I think the Brady's your only choice for that many brats. You know what I'm saying? But personally, if it were me, I would hide a bolt gun in the dashboard behind the radio, right? Kids start, Mom, I gotta piss my pants. Sally's touching me. You're like, I'll turn on the radio. They think they're fixing to hear a little, oops, I wish I'd done it again. Next thing you know, they're getting shot with 5 billion volts.
Kids like electricity.
Tell me if they fuck around again after you do that one time.
I remember because when I was a kid, my dad had a cattle prod, and we'd always sneak it outside, and we'd zap each other in the head till our foreheads would swell up like all big, and then we'd have to go inside. And our parents would be like, were you playing with the cattle prod? And we, with our big swollen heads, no, not us. It'll slow you down. That's the weird thing. You do that enough, and it'll slow your day down.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, they always ask us questions. We get a lot of questions. Number one question we would get is normally like, what's the best car out there?
Sure, that's first generic. Second one I always get, what car has the best gas mileage? I get that a lot.
All the time people ask that. And number 3 one, of course, is does the car float? I have never seen a car that would float. Well, the bean floats for about 2 seconds till a catfish takes it under, right? Try reeling that thing in, right? It's so tiny, it's like a bobber, Put some, lunch meat on the bottom of it, and that thing's gone in a minute, So anybody there who knows of any secret, government development deals, if you think that your local car dealership is about to release one or something, by all means, take a picture of it or just tell us about it. Call down on the radio show. And don't take no, pictures of a canoe with trike tires on it and no shit like that. It's got to be a real car that people can go and buy, license, and insure.
That's right. It's got to be believable.
Don't take, the floaties off your kid's arm and slap an inner tube on it. You know what I mean?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a quick break. We got to pay a few bills with a few commercials. Don't touch the dial. We'll be back.
Are you tired of people making fun of your weight? Your bulging thighs? Your succulent midsection? Are you tired of people chasing you with knives in a spice rack? Then come to the Gourmet Arms Motor Lodge, where over 3/4 of our guests survive the night. And remember, at the Gourmet Arms, the fat sleep free.
All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio, 555-4327. Before we went to commercial break, me and Vin were talking about our dream cars and stuff like that. What would we do with 50 grand? If like right now the 50 grand fairy walked in a G-string and came up and said, God, you're sexy. Nah, she wouldn't say that to me. Let's say that she walked in and she just gave us 50 grand. What would we do? And Vin, what would you do?
I would first purchase the Warrior. All right, for 2 reasons. Speed, and it's an extension of myself. It's fat. It's wide, it's long, yet not too, cramped, if you know what I mean. Then, what I would do, full stock of Molotov cocktails in a glove compartment. You know, you can never have too many of those. You never know
That's
when
true.
you're going to need them.
Well, the good thing is if you don't need them, you can drink them.
Exactly.
You know, thinking about it, I'm sitting here thinking, all right, 50 grand. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, okay?
That's good cash.
That's not like it jingles in your pocket money. That's cash. That's booty on your face money, all right?
That's a lot of shamoli, huh?
I think about it. It was something I've always wanted, even when I was just a little tyke. I want a rig. To be honest, I'd want a rig. I know it's not this glamour car, and I'm not going to be on the cover of magazines with it, and it's not the fastest. But you know what? Nothing is meatier than one of those. And then, inside I'd have all the cool stuff. I'd add on, a bathroom or, maybe a pool. I don't know, get the trailer and, put a giant trampoline back there and maybe buy some circus monkeys. And then I get one of them stun guns. And the monkeys, when they jump up in the air, I'd give them basketballs. And so they'd be jumping in the air and trying to grab these basketballs. And the monkey that grabs the most basketballs, he'd be the one that I don't shoot with this stun gun. And I'd have my own traveling monkey basketball stun gun game. And I'd be the only guy to have that. And, I'm telling you about controlling the market right there. That's almost a monopoly, so it could end up being illegal. But with the monkeys in the back to protect them from being stolen, because a lot of people steal your trick monkeys, I put a fire on it, right? With cluster rockets and BGMs. But I wouldn't put the BGM in the back because some of them monkeys, they get drunk. Because they drink the Molotov cocktails, they get all hopped up on that funny juice, and they stop jumping around because they don't want to work no more. And I had one of the times he grabbed the bolt gun, and he lit my butt up, and I still can't grow hair on my ass.
Monkeys with basketballs, that's weird.
I was thinking about, changing the rules of the game, to, kind of keep it fresh for the monkeys. So what I do is I took 9 basketballs, and while they're jumping up on the trampoline trying to get this, I throw in 1 grenade. The monkey that gets the grenade loses. That way, we stop this whole monkey dynasty thing. No one gets the ring 4 or 5 years in a row. Every year, you got a new monkey basketball dunk trampoline champ.
It's only fair.
96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Feel free to call down anytime. 555-4327. All right, we got a caller on the air. Caller.
Woo, check me out. I'm on Gear Talk. What's up, man?
All right, check him out.
Hey, I'd like to send a shout out to all my friends that are listening.
All right, calm down there, Lee.
Hey, I just want to tell you guys, after you get off work, I'll meet you anywhere and I'll kick your asses. Yeah, I'll race you for pink slips.
Really, huh?
Yeah. Well, okay, what kind of car you got there, kid?
I get a Sanford.
All right, you got it. Okay, hold on. You got a Sanford, and you're telling me that you can beat my Blade? Are you stupid?
What?
You have a Sanford. I have a Blade. Vinny has a Cruiser. Okay, these are classic cars. You got a junk truck. I mean, what do you got, nitrous in this thing? What do you got? Do you have like 1,000 people behind you pushing? You got 20,000 horses in front? What do you got?
No, that's stupid. It's just a normal Sanford, moron.
So you got a normal Sanford, and you're calling our radio show telling them that you want to drag race. Are you willing to say right now that you'll drag race for pink ship ownership of the car?
That's right.
You're challenging. Who do you want to race?
I'll take both you guys.
This guy sounds like he's drunk all the time, so obviously he's probably not a good driver. I'm not really,
Right.
if you want to line up and race for pinks, that's fine with me, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to sell your car to an old lady. But as we all know, it's not the car, it's the driver. Me, been driving 40 years, never had an accident, never got blown up. I kick ass, I don't get ass kicked. All right, I'll tell you that. And I know Vin over here with his Cruiser can smoke anyone, right? He is just awesome.
Oh, this is going to be easier than I thought.
Well, it's going to be real hard for this kid. He's going to lose the first race, and so he's going to have to run next to my car.
I'll take the wheels off of my Cruiser, and I'll still whoop your ass.
That's right. I'll tell you what, and after I'm done racing you, I'll get my mom with a trick toe, and she'll run alongside your Sanford, and she'll beat you every time. She's quick. She's old, but she's quick, just like your car, supposedly.
I know your mom. She is quick.
All right, kid, that's not funny. You're talking about my mom, and you got a Sanford. Listen, you bring your Sanford down to the studio. Hey, where you from, kid?
Yeah, I'm from Lava Falls, man. Yeah, Lava Falls, what's up?
All right, so we got a guy in Lava Falls driving around in a Sanford who wants to race for pink slips. The first listener to go down there, beat him, take his Sanford in his pink slip, chop off one of his nuts and bring it down to the studio, wins a free Gear Talk t-shirt. What does that sound like, Vin?
You know what? I'm going to say the first person who brings that in will not only get a t-shirt, but we'll give him a Gear Talk keychain.
Ah, well, the philanthropist over here.
Huh?
Yeah, all right, you know what I'm going to do to this kid? I'm
Go
going to cut his balls off and I'm going to hang him from my rear view.
Yeah, fuzzy balls.
Yeah, that's right. Roll the dice, punk. All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio, 555-4327. All right, Cole, you're on the air.
Oh, hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Listen, I was just wondering what kind of car you drive and what sort of gear you got in there.
Oh, you want to know what Frank and Vinny drive?
Hey, my pleasure. I love these kind of questions. You know, there's nothing better than talking about what you drive.
Exactly. You know, this guy wants to, know what we drive. That's fine. Hey, this is not a problem with us. Vin, why don't you go ahead and take this one?
All right. Well, of course, you may have seen me on the road in my 57 Cruiser. You can't miss it. It's candy apple red. Got scoop hood, blower engine. Got 350 4-bolt main, carbon drive shaft, racing flywheel, 4 nitrous tanks. It's tree on the tree, 22s in the back, 20s on the front, flamethrower mounted on the back end, and minigun mounted on the front.
You think that's enough?
Well, I'm looking to add a couple of, concussion mines underneath the body there. I got a couple of smoke bombs I'm thinking about putting in a glove compartment, just for safety's sake.
I got to say this, that the 350 right there that you're pumping in your Cruiser,
right?
One of the easiest engines in the world to work on. It's one of the most reliable engines in the world, right? So it's a great, powerful, very, very powerful engine. But it's also an engine that the layman can work on. Anybody could work on this. Nomads could fix this thing, okay? But it's still powerful. It's not like your little 4-banger, your 6-bangers. It's not. It's pumping.
Got 450 horsepower.
Jeez.
Without the nitrous.
Without the nitrous. You guys, watch out. If you see it coming, get the hell out the way because Vin doesn't mess around, I tell you that.
And what with the miniguns mounted on the front there, I clear traffic. Out of my way!
Is anyone here surprised that Vin has miniguns? Surprise!
Is anyone amazed I don't stand in traffic?
True, that is true.
What about your car, Frank? Tell the people what you're rolling in.
Well, I'm a very proud father of a blade, all right? I just got it. I got about 1,000 miles on it. It's so nice. It's just pure steel, all right? I got the silver one, unpainted steel, okay? I love this car. It's got a 12-cylinder engine, 6-speed. I'm pushing about 800 horsepower, top speed about 209, and it will do every inch of it, okay? Now, that's a mid-engine car, which means it handles really good. But if you're going slow, it doesn't handle so good. The faster you go, the better it handles, all right? I got 22-inch rims on the back, 22s on the front, so it's like I'm riding on a sled, all right? Whichever way they're pointing, that's the way the car's going. I don't peel out anytime, okay? I don't need to. This car will turn a corner like a roller coaster. It's so nice because I can outrun pretty much anything on the road. But if I don't want to run, I could flip this puppy around and light anybody up I want. A lot of people ask me, they say, well, what kind of weapons you got? I got them all, okay? Like a lot of people call up the station, they want to advertise their companies and whatnot. Well, I take full advantage of that, and I get a lot of freebies, I could put a machine gun up on front, a flat cannon, I could run with concussion mines, death blossoms, EMPs. It doesn't matter. Every day's a new day for me in my new blade because I haven't found the right mix of weapons. I am looking, though, and if anybody out there has a blade and, they've got it set up, I'd really like to hear from you. I got smoke bombs and I got a death blossom, so I rolled that way, and, I pretty much got every base covered.
But, what with the aerodynamics on your blade, I mean, you really don't need much else.
That's true because, it's so fast, it's almost like a blur. Some people say, I didn't even see you come home. It's because I pulled up into the parking lot at 200 miles an hour, and no shit you didn't see me come home. Sometimes I launch my missiles, right? And I gotta slow down so they don't get up behind me and blow me up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's that fast. I mean, I'm hauling ass everywhere I go. I'm always early. Always. I got 12 cylinders just pushing it like a bunch of cracked out horses behind me, all right? 800 horsepower. This car moves. It's only a 2-seater. That's the only negative thing. I just wanted a vehicle for me and, a prostitute. And I'll tell you what, you get one of these cars, and sometimes you ain't got to pay for the prostitutes. They just want to see the inside of these things because it's like a luxurious hotel.
I was wondering, Frank, have you ever tried driving with the doors open?
I did that the first day I got it. I did do that, but then I had an abrupt stop and damn near took my leg off.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, it might take off.
Well, you can do that. Like if I was kicking 200, 180, something like that, and I'm flying, right. If I were to open one of those doors, I could probably get airborne, to be quite honest. But the bad thing is you're up going that fast. Sometimes your brakes, it's not like I can stop 10 feet away at 200 miles an hour. It takes me a good quarter mile to slow it down. So, as far as jumping buildings and getting on top of them and stuff, it's kind of difficult with the blade because you barely touch that gas and there's a good chance you got a 6-story drop. And for an expensive car like this, you really don't want to be dropping in off buildings, all right?
Now, repairs are very expensive on that, aren't they?
Very. If I were you, I would work on your car yourself. I don't like other people touching my vehicle. The blade is a very difficult car to work on because it's a 12-cylinder. A lot of people, you can do your 6-cylinders, your 4-bangers, you can do your 350s, your 400 big blocks, okay? You can do all this stuff. 12-cylinder, it's a little bit more difficult. You got 12 of those puppies in there, and then you got the 6-speed. So the average guy can't work on this. But if you get yourself a manual and stuff like that, and you got a good weekend, you could work on it yourself. Now, don't rush anything. Now, let's not mess up this beautiful car by working on it and just not knowing what you're doing, okay? You got to really, really pay attention to these manuals, right? And then when you're putting on the weapons, for God's sakes, don't weld it on here. I mean, come on, this is a beautiful this is D car. It is the best.
It's not something you just jump into. You got to do your homework. If you're in the market for a new vehicle and weapons, you got to do your homework. Do some research.
Exactly. If you're a first-time buyer, don't go out and get a blade. Right, I've said it here right now. Do not go out get a blade. Don't
make
do
a
it.
note of it.
Yeah, buy a stump. Do something like that. Get yourself a car like that. Work your way up. Eventually, you'll graduate to a blade or a cruiser. To be honest, I put the cruiser in the same category as the blade. It may not be as fast, but it's got to get up and go. It really, truly does. And these cars side to side out in the parking lot, I got to tell you, vision of beauty. I call them our kick-ass bookmarks.
Frank, was it you telling me about you got a ticket for one tail light out?
Yeah.
I mean, a headlight. It was a headlight, wasn't it?
It was a headlight.
But it wasn't really out, though.
No, here's the thing. All right, short story of it. I'm driving home, right? This guy looks like a librarian. I don't know what the hell he does. Jumps out in front of my car. Boom, right there on the sidewalk. I said, get off my sidewalk. Right? Bam, I nail him. I have to swerve out into the street, right?
He didn't move?
No, he didn't. So now here I am out in the middle of the street all of a sudden.
You're kidding me.
There's cars everywhere, and
No.
I'm freaking out like I'm going to hit one of them.
Sure.
That's why I drive on a sidewalk, right? So I drive down the street, and I got this guy sitting there, and he's blocking my headlight, right?
Okay.
Police, the sentinels, woo, right on over, right? They come out, they said, sir, I noticed only one of your headlights working. I said, no, it's working. There's just a body on top of it. He says, I'm going to have to write you a ticket.
You're kidding me.
I got a ticket for that. I told him, I argued for about an hour. I said, you give that guy the ticket. He's blocking it.
He's the one that should have moved.
Exactly. The light works. It's being obstructed by that guy. Give him the ticket. And they say apparently that you can't give a ticket to a dead guy. I said, but what if he was in the way? Nope. I still don't believe it, though. I got the ticket. I'm glad that they did that because I'm a criminal. I'm a mastermind. That's how I did it. I used bodies on my car so the wind don't touch my new paint.
Watch out for the guys with one headlight.
Ooh, and if they flash the left one, they're in a gang.
Right.
Some kind of urban myth stuff,
Yeah, the guys from Gear Talk wreak havoc on the city with their one headlight.
Yeah, and at night, one of them turns into a wizard, and the other one is a bat with a nuclear testicle. And they pray to the dark cloud omens of the night, and they're fenced off bunker out in the middle of nowhere with their witch's brew. Ooh. Last night I stayed up kind of late.
Really?
Yeah, drinking. And
How late?
I haven't gone to sleep yet.
Okay.
Well, so I caught this old movie.
You feeling all right?
Not too bad.
Okay.
I scratched myself earlier today. It really pepped me up.
Yeah, good.
So I'm watching one of these old tapes I'm going through, and I don't know what movie this is, right? So
Okay.
I pop it into VCR because I only taped half of it, so I don't have the title.
The only guy I know that starts recording after the opening credits and stops recording before the end.
Yeah, actually, I like to get past that shit. If I wanted to read, I'd have got a newspaper or a book. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to watch a movie. I don't need to read who did this. Hell, if that's the case, then just tape the script. Just film the script and you flip the pages every minute, and I'll do it like that. Save me some time. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do these highfalutin stunts. I'll imagine them in my fucking head.
All right, you made your point.
So, it's the weirdest movie, right? There's this sea creature.
Okay.
Huge. He's like 90 stories tall, right?
No way.
And there's all these Chinese people They're running around like there's a white sale at the department store and someone's giving away free hand cream or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like someone ripped off their egg foo young. I don't know. They should put an alarm on it. Anyway, they're running around the city all crazy, right? And there's this big tidal wave, and I'm thinking, well, are they going surfing? You know, everybody, but they're running away from the ocean.
Whoa, is it Loch Ness?
It looks like Loch Ness.
Okay.
Kinda.
Okay.
So this thing comes out of the ocean, destroys the whole town, and there's these toy tanks shooting at it. And I'm thinking, well, you guys got to get some real tanks, number one.
Right.
Number two, build yourself a fake city, put a giant, I don't know, T-bone in the middle of it, let him go, slide his ass up in there and eat that T-bone. Then when he does, you roll in with the real tanks, because the toy tanks didn't cut it. First off, you know, faults of the movie, the monster, no love interest, right?
Really?
Did not know Kung Fu, although it was an Asian film, right?
You kidding me?
Didn't climb bamboo, no wire tricks, none of that. Nothing, right? So
amazing.
I'm thinking I'm in this for the stunts, right? This thing's gonna get in a car. There's gonna be this like midnight race thing, you know, where they're gonna race for pink slips or whatnot.
Sure.
Did not happen. He surfed into the city, crapped all over it, beat up these little toy tanks, and then left.
That's it?
That's it. Until the end, when this giant moth comes flying in, right?
Okay.
Then this iguana comes back out of the ocean, right? Not knowing that iguanas camouflage themselves with ocean.
No way.
So again, the Chinese people are going nuts, right? Just crazy, you know, crazier than like fat people at a buffet line.
I guess so.
So then I fell asleep, and I don't know how the movie ended. You know, I'm thinking, well, what happened? You know, did they finally learn Kung Fu?
Yeah. Did they?
I don't know. I got to go home and watch it tonight. I fell asleep.
Oh, I thought you woke back up and then watched the movie.
No,
okay.
I missed that one.
Okay.
So when I go home tonight, and don't no one call up the radio station and spoil the ending here, because I want to find out, because I'm hoping, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this lizard falls in love with this giant moth, right? And maybe they have some kind of, a
romantical scene?
Exactly. You know, I would be very interested in seeing a giant iguana hump a moth.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying with this? I would go see that.
I'll pay $10 for that.
Now, if I told you right now that, hey, I got this on tape, I got this lizard doing this moth. You want to see this?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Put it in. Let's hit play. Let's go.
Rewind.
This is an
Do it again.
Maybe this is an industry we could get into, huh?
I think you may have something there, Frank.
Go get us a handful of lizards, some insecticides, and, roll tape. Let's go. Cue the sound guy.
Move it. Take two.
And action. 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Don't be afraid to call down today, 555-4327 Gear. We're having an awesome day in the studio. We're going to take some calls. Caller, you are on the air.
Hey, Vinny, it's your mother.
Mom, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm calling because I haven't talked to you in so long.
Mom.
I don't even know what you look like anymore. Jesus, you could be close to death. I wouldn't know.
I saw you last month. I hadn't changed.
Last month? So much can happen in 30 days.
Right, but nothing has. You do the same thing every day.
I don't do the same thing every day. Sometimes I cook different things. Some days I do the laundry.
Yeah, that's right. But every day you feed 12 cats and you talk to them.
That's right, because my boy won't come around anymore.
12 cats?
Well, yeah, I got 12 cats. Oh, well, hello, Frank.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, Miss Dadamooch.
Oh, my gosh, you sound so much more strapping over the radio.
Thank you. I get that a lot. Some people say I sound fat.
No. No, you sound healthy.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it, Mom. It's good to hear from you. How you doing?
You don't come by. You don't call. The cats need food. You still got your toys up in your room. Your little cowboys and Indians. They're just perfect, just like you like it.
Yeah, great.
Cowboys and Indians, huh?
Yeah, Frankie loved cowboys and Indians. He'd be in there for hours on end playing crazy make-em-ups in his cowboy hat and boots.
Come on. That is not true.
He used to play dress-up all the way through high school.
He dressed up as a cowboy and an Indian in high school?
Yeah. He gets so embarrassed about it.
I stopped doing that in grade 3.
Grade 3. You don't even remember grade 3.
Really?
And in high school, you were dressed up. Don't you remember the one year? That one year for your birthday, all you wanted was that fucked-up cowboy hat and those little boots. So maybe you could get dressed up and wear them to prom and take Cindy. She misses you.
Now, Cindy's the supermodel he dated in high school, right?
No, it wasn't like that, Frank.
The real hot one that was on the cover of all the magazines and all the guys wanted to date her, but Vin was the only one who could land it because he was this debonair dude and he could grow a mustache before anyone else.
Well, here's the thing. Cindy had a mustache long before he did.
Wait a minute, this supermodel had a mustache?
Well, yeah, and she weighed about 450 back then.
Ma, I think you're senile.
Well, she's dropped a little weight. She's down to 425
She
now.
was a model. She still does modeling.
Well, okay. I'll tell you what. You knew she was coming from a mile away. Her tummy was there first.
I can't believe. See, let me just tell you, Miss Dadabuch, Vin has been walking around the studio saying, "Oh man, in high school I had this girl so hot." And everybody thought she was a supermodel.
No, not at all. When she came over, they had to go out in the garage because that's the only place she would fit.
I just think that's funny because he's always bragging about it, you know, that she was this little rail, skinny, big boobs and all that, and we find out she's Mount Chocula. I don't get it.
We hung out in the garage for privacy.
I'll tell you. One time, I went out in the garage, and they were making whoopee. They were having a tender moment. I got all vermished. I thought she was going to kill my boy.
Are you sure they weren't making a bunt cake?
Well, that could be. Oh, by the way, I got some nice pastries if you want to swing by later.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to make it, Ma. We got, some post-production work to do.
It'll be fun. Frank could meet Cindy, and maybe you could get back together.
No, Ma, look, Frank's allergic to the cats.
Well, he could put something over his head. I could put the cats in the bathroom.
How many cats you got?
I've got 12 pussycats. 12 cats.
Wow. When I was a kid, we had 12 cats, but, we didn't really have 12 cats. What we do is we go through the neighborhood. We've been drinking, right? We were young. And we'd light off firecrackers and we'd scare all the cats out in the middle of the street. And so, we'd get them all up in a sack, right? And then my friend would go steal rubber bands and we'd super glue them to the cats' heads. Then we'd steal those trash can lids and we'd stand on those and we'd have gladiator races with kittens. It was awesome. Every year we did this and then we actually petitioned for it to be an Olympic sport, but apparently you can't do that because there's no way to drug test the kittens because that's cruelty to animals.
It's only fair.
Till the sentinels they caught wind of it and then they started coming down and instead of kittens, which was the standard practice, you had to have kittens. 3 months and above we didn't allow, and they came down with some bobcats and started running the things. They were ringers, so we couldn't let them, so we just shut down the whole shop.
Before that event was something to look forward to. These guys, they come in, they ruin the whole atmosphere of the get-together.
Exactly. We used to do kitten mortars. Right?
Yeah.
We'd take a pipe, and at the bottom of it, we'd put all this gunpowder,
Sure.
right? We'd stick a cigarette in there, stuff a kitten down there, and we'd see how far we could launch the kitten, right? Twice I hit an airplane, right? Brought that fucker down.
Didn't you get blue ribbons 3 years in a row?
3 years in a row. I was the local Paradise City champion. I got a nice buckle at the house and a trophy with a cat that's all freaked out. It's
I
pretty
love
funny.
that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, that'd be 6 cats for each of you. If you could swing by, lady, have a little knish, a little nosh, it'd be good with just a schmear. What do you think?
Hey, let's go over to your mom's house and gladiator race kittens and have some pastries. Come on, that's relive your childhood.
Well, you could do your little race, and then I could pull out my sniper rifle as you're running down the street.
If we have time, we'll swing by, Ma. Do you have a question for Gear Talk?
He doesn't love his mother, hand to God, I swear. I swear to God, on your father's grave, if you don't come over here in 2 days, you are cut off.
Yeah, there you go. She's going to cut you off. Now you're screwed. You're going to lose your cruiser.
All right. I'll see you this afternoon.
Now that's a good boy. Frank, give him a little spanking there.
Hey, get it. All right. Hey, have those kitties there, huh? I'll bring some chow over or something. Do you know where I can get some firecrackers?
Okay, toodaloo. Bye-bye, boys.
I think your mother's a funny individual. I remember we used to have barbecues out back when we camp out in your backyard, and you would always want to, sneak in the neighbor's house and shoot him with my minigun, and I talked you out of it. So, Miss Vitterbaum, I was the responsible one.
I never said anything about sneaking. I was very clear with my intentions.
Your mom used to be so hot. All the guys in the neighborhood were like, damn, look at her. Nice ass.
Knock it off.
Well, I'm just saying, you should be proud of your mom because she's hot. She's not some hoochie.
I don't even think of her that way. What
I
are you
do.
No, well, I wish you wouldn't tell me about it, all right?
I gotta be honest, I think the first time I saw a naked woman was your mom. And I
What were you
remember,
doing looking at my mom naked? How did you
No.
see my mom naked?
I was sleeping in your living room, and she walked out to go to the bathroom, I don't know, take a crap or something, and she was naked, and I looked up, and she kind of just waved and smiled, and I tell you what, I used that.
Yeah, but you were drinking, right?
I always drink.
Well, there you go.
I was awake, wasn't I? Dumb question number one, check that one right off the list. You were drinking, done.
Ma, you see this? This coming from a guy who drinks all the time and admits it. You can't tell me that I'm the bad one.
No, yes, you can, because, see, I respect authority and adults. I do. I've never, ever yelled at an adult. I did everything they told me to, and then when they left the room, then I did whatever I wanted to do. But up until they would, left the room, I was pretty much listening.
Yeah, what's the difference, though? You do it in front of them, you don't?
Well,
Either way.
The difference is that they don't know. They think you're this archangel, little baby, oh, he's such a nice kid. Lo and behold, I'm pounding your daughter in through the mattress. Ta-da, ta-da, come swinging with my wrecking balls.
Yeah, but not doing it in front of adults does not make one a better person.
I beg to differ. Honestly, I do. I think that what you do in public is how you're reflected in others' eyes, and what you do behind closed doors is reflected in, whoever you're pumping.
96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Listen, you're going to have to bear with us today. We a little disheveled, little unorganized here. We had to get rid of the PA yesterday.
Yeah, production assistant came in with a new contract, thought he was some huge international star. Apparently, he got a $6 a month raise, and all of a sudden we had to deal with the dude. And I told him, I said, only two people in this office have attitude, buddy, and that's me and Vinny. You answer the phones, all right? That's your job. This little kid got a little uppity with me. He starts telling me that he made the show and he's the genius behind the mouths. And I said, what did you say? And I picked up this pizza cutter and I just stabbed him with it. So we had to fire the intern. And now this little punk is trying to sue us. He's trying to sue us because he said that he was maliciously fired.
I thought it was very fair.
Well, I think, I'm not
He wasn't doing the job.
Exactly, and now that I cut his fingers off, how the hell's he gonna dial? Yeah, it's not my fault you can't do your job.
You better stick a pencil in your mouth.
If someone sews my lips shut, I'm not showing up the next day for work. Yeah, well, but I gotta tell you, we are hiring, for an intern or production assistant. Over the years, I gotta tell you, it's been a little funny little inside joke here on the Gear Talk Radio Show. We have had, I can't count how many assistants here. I mean, we go through them like, day-old bread. Just right through him. We had one guy one time who came in. We told him to dress up like a clown, and Vinny painted a target on the back of him, and then he accidentally being the key word, huh?
Yes.
Fired a minigun off into the back of him. And,
Oops.
he didn't know, and the thing was, it was 2 days before payday, and we weren't going to get our bonus because this little kid kept showing up, late, whatnot. He always had excuses.
And that was our fault.
Exactly. Flunking drug tests and whatnot, and so Vin just let him have it. And I gotta tell you, it's a pain in the ass, to train these kids and get them to a position where they know what they're doing, and then all of a sudden, they get a tood. They get the attitude, and they come screaming in here thinking that they're Lacey Chasem. I remember one time we told one of the interns that we were gonna be late, and so we were gonna let him go ahead and do the radio show for us. And Vinny had wired up a grenade to the microphone, and so the first person to turn the damn thing on,
this was a good one.
It blew his teeth out the back of his neck. The kid, I think he got 96 point boom, and it just blew his teeth straight out. We still got 4 of the teeth there on the studio wall up on the soundproof.
We keep them for mementos.
Yeah, it reminds you, to stay humble. To remember where you came from.
You can always be replaced.
I remember one time we had an intern, there was a lady, the first lady we ever had work here. I see that she's got Vinny on the ground and she's beating the living crap out of him. And yeah, she's a big woman. I'm not poking fun, Vin. She's a big woman.
She had huge thighs.
She was big. I think she was a roid monster, personally. She may have been an old dreadlord or something,
She had pimples all over her back.
She was a scary woman. That's one I was actually not missing when we killed her.
No, she deserved it.
Remember when we hired the cheerleaders? We didn't get much done, but I tell you what, we were here early every day. And, the good thing is if you work, if you make them work naked, they got to find creative ways to put Post-its up. And then, where you going to keep your lunch money. It was always interesting. We'd take lunch breaks so that they could rehearse their cheers and whatnot and their stretches. And we would spot them because, you don't ever want to pull a hammy when you're doing the pyramid. So, we looked out for them, and they, of course, quit and then later sued us for sexual harassment, I think they called it.
Yeah, that's proper.
Yeah, we had this one kid one time. I honestly tell you the truth, I don't even know where he was from because he never spoke English. He was always just running around making clicking noises.
Oh, this guy.
You know, he prayed to this monkey's paw, and he would roll these walnuts around and look at him. He said the future was in him, and I said, I think it's just a walnut that's in him there, buddy. Yeah, we had to fire him just because he was freaking us out there. He did rolling chicken bones in my glove box of my car on the drive home. So we had to fire that guy. Yeah, we fired. I drove him home one day, and I said, hey, we're going to have to let you go. And he said something that sounded like a chicken being strangled. And I said, all right, the hell with it. And so I drove up on a bridge, got it up to about 65, and kicked his dumb ass right out the car. And you know what? He didn't float.
Really?
So I get home last night, right? And all I want to do is relax.
Sure.
Put my feet up, scratch my corns, have a cold can of beer.
Everyone does.
And I hear this rumbling, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Not another tornado, you know? Not another one.
I don't remember us having one.
No, we didn't. What happened is I look up a street, and my neighbor's coming flying down, right? He jumps up in the air. He's good 8, 9 feet off the ground, right?
Wow.
He hits my mailbox, lights it up, and I was pretty pissed off because I'd parked my bean in there overnight.
You just put that up, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Crazy.
So, you know, I'm thinking, I got to kill this guy now. I'm going to have to beat the living crap out of him.
Well,
I go
serves
inside.
him right.
Exactly. I go inside and I grab a couple sticks of dynamite and a slingshot, right?
Perfect.
I'm going to do it old school. So then,
teach him a lesson.
Exactly. So he gets out of his car and he's trying to act like nothing happened. He says, hey, Frank, let me ask you something. Because he's always trying to chat me up about his frickin' car.
Right.
Because, you know, the reality of the situation is he wants me to come over there and do all this work because I'm a master mechanic.
After he knocks your mailbox down, right?
Exactly. Oh,
The
hey.
nerve.
Yeah. Hey, fix my mailbox there, postal boy. Didn't say that. You know? So then I'm kind of mad and I'm thinking, you know, all right. I'm going to talk to this guy for a moment. And he says, hey, Frank, let me ask you, you know, my suspension's kind of wobbly, you know. I want to know, is there any tricks of the trade that you might teach me that I could, you know, so my car handles better?
Yeah, what'd you tell him?
I told him, I said, keep your damn tires on the ground, moron.
There's an idea.
You know, your car doesn't handle so good because it's not an airplane. There's no ugly stewardess passing out small peanuts on your ride there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to tell him, I said, listen, you just keep it on the ground, rubber the pavement, or you leave it like that. There's no mechanics involved. There's no trick pots, no lift kits, no special brakes, and no knobby tires.
He's probably losing a suspension when he lands.
Exactly. I told him, I said, this ain't a runway, and it ain't a landing strip.
Right.
So, you know, then I'm telling him this advice, and he just keeps nodding. You know, when people get that glazed look on their eyes, and they just nod, and you know.
Have no idea what they're listening to.
Yeah, so I start saying stuff like, you know, what I would do is I'd take your back tire off and replace it with a toaster. And he's still nodding like that. And I said, then I'd go get a chinchilla and I'd put him on your fan belt because that normally ups the horsepower. And he's still nodding like that.
He loved that one, didn't he?
Yeah, so I pick up the mailbox, right, which is still tied to that post.
Uh-huh.
And I start going whack happy on him, right? And I'm thinking, oh, geez, now I murdered this guy. I'm going to get found out. Nope.
Did you?
Nope. Detective Vitterbaum in the house. I put him in the trunk of his car and rolled him down into the river and peed on him.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's justice.
That's justice, and it's justified.
Judge, jury, and pisser.
Done. Next case, stop driving like a moron, unless you're going to land on a building. That's what I do, because, see, what I do is I go down to Water Snatch Burgers, I jump my car, I land right on the roof, and I yell down, bring my order up. I'm hungry. They say, go to the drive-thru. I said, I can't. I'm up here. You bring it to me. They don't like that.
That's a good time to take your wheels off the ground.
Exactly. That, you know, there are moments that it's justifiable. You know, like that situation. If you're going to land on top of a building somewhere, you want to get a scenic view. You know, you want to hop down to Water Snatch, get some tater tots. I don't know. It's up to you, you know. But if you're just driving home from work and showing off, I can't wait till you land in the water.
Serves you right.
Yeah, because I'm going to go down there and pee on you.
You all right there, Frank?
Yeah, my crabs are kicking up. Oh, I got one in my throat. Little bastard crawled up through my esophagus. I should call it my esophages. Jeez, that hurt. I got one of my lymph nodes. And I don't know why they're limp. You know, I'm taking pills for that. So the other day we're doing this remote, you know, and we go down to Sloppy Seconds Dating.
Right.
They got some good-looking women down there, right?
Giant hooters.
Yeah, big hooters, you know, small hooters. Depends on what you like, but most of them got some huge cans, you know?
Humongous.
Yeah, if they were tuna fish, you'd need a lot of mayonnaise to make a sandwich. So I'm sitting there all by my lonesome, and I look across the room, and there's this girl, and I'm thinking, oh, gee, she's beautiful. Look,
I think I went to the bathroom now.
Yeah, you were taking a dump, right?
Uh-huh.
And so she's all looking at me, and I'm thinking, what is she looking behind me? She wasn't. She's checking me out, and I'm kind of like, all right. You know, my ego starts getting a little bit big. I'm feeling good about myself. She walks over, and the closer she gets, I notice she's got this thing that looks like fudge, right?
Okay.
She gets up close enough that I could get a good hard look at it, and it's a mole, right? And
okay. A lot of people have moles on their face.
Not like this one, though.
No?
This mole was so big and nasty that it had a baby tooth hanging out of it. She had baby mole tooth on her face.
No, I think that might have been a hair.
No, it was a tooth. Seriously, it's a degenerate disease called baby mole tooth.
There is no such thing as baby mole tooth.
You'd think there wasn't, but there is, and it's from overeating pepperoni apparently, and not having napkins to wipe the grease off your face. You know, chubby girls get it. Some of them get it, you know, in other places, but, you know, you don't talk about that.
Where are you getting your information?
You know, the medical journal, stuff like that, you know, nasty magazines.
Okay.
It was huge, though. I swear to God, I started pointing at it, and I was like, God damn, is that a tooth? You know, you got gingivitis on your cheek there, sweet tits.
Really?
I said, God damn. I said, hey, lady, you got gingivitis on your cheek there. You need to wipe it off. And she smacked my hand, you know, and she's a good hitter, you know. She damn near broke my carpal tunnel syndrome.
Cheaper than a doctor, right?
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is you learn something every day. That's what I always say.
It worked out.
Baby mole tooth.
Who knew?
I didn't. I said, how the fuck you floss that thing? It's just one tooth. You know, floss.
What'd she say?
She didn't. She got confused. You know, at that point, she was hopped up on pudding. Kooky. I call him kooky, you know. Because you can't point at him. You know, and then people out there, for God's sakes, if you see someone with baby mole tooth face, don't go pointing at him and saying, how do you floss it? Hey, why don't you get one of those wrapper tooths on it, but some kind of neat car emblem or a diamond so you could go bling bling and you could flick it. Don't do that.
Put your initial in it.
Yeah, do something snazzy with it, you know? To each his own, that's what I say. Me, personally, I'm going to point at you and laugh at you. That's what I do.
But if you had like a greeting, like a neon greeting on it.
Well, she got mad. You know, as you know, I got kicked out of the party because I got one of those. Big bottles of beer, right? And it wasn't a twist off, so I grabbed that girl by the back of her neck there, and I popped my beer open with a baby mole tooth. Well, apparently, that's assault and battery all of a sudden, so I got kicked out.
Well, what else are you going to use it for?
Exactly. Don't have beer that can't be opened by your hands. Otherwise, I won't use the baby mole tooth to pop open my frosty cold one.
You got it.
All right, for years and years and years, I've been sitting in this little cubicle doing this radio show, and I've had to listen to Vin talk about the goddamn minigun so much. You know, I like the minigun myself, but I'm a little curious as to why you're so infatuated with the minigun. Where does this come from? I mean, this is abnormal, to be honest.
All right, well, I'm going to share this with you and all the rest of the listeners. I know it's been something on your mind for quite a while. And here's the story, all right? You remember the catalogs you got randomly throughout the year, especially at Christmas time?
Oh, yeah, loved them. Couldn't put them down.
Different toys, appliances, whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, it was Christmas time when I was 6 years old, and we got the catalog in the mail. My brothers and sisters beat me to it, and they wouldn't share it, all right? I had no chance to look at what I might want for Christmas. So, I'm walking around the house moping. I go into my father's room. I go into the bathroom. I'm taking a little personal time for myself.
Dookie time.
Exactly. I pick up a magazine. It happened to be Weapons Monthly.
Oh, I love that magazine.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful magazine.
Well, I still got a subscription today.
Well, you have to.
Everyone does, don't they? Anyway, this Weapons Monthly, almost on its own, magically opens to the center page where lies an advertisement for the brand new Destruction Ranger 3000 fully automatic minigun.
God, I love that. Hey, remember the commercials on the TV?
Oh, yeah.
Destruction Ranger, he's gonna shoot you in the face. Ooh. Destruction Ranger, saving us from the alien race. Then he'd come up on that robotic horse and he would take them big, huge Magmine turds on people.
See? That was my favorite part.
I love that part.
Oh, yeah. So Christmas time rolls around, it's Christmas Eve, and the Dada Mooch family has a very long tradition of every Christmas Eve, each member gets to open one present, just one, before Christmas Day. Kind of like a little warm-up.
Yeah, it's like thank you for waiting.
Here we go, I'm opening up the present, and what do you think I got?
Dollhouse.
No, you been listening to me?
Yeah, the Dollhouse was my guess, though.
What was my only... I only asked for one thing. I got the minigun.
You got the minigun?
I got the minigun.
Minigun, all right.
Yeah, of course I did. I only asked for one thing. All right, but the only problem was it came in pieces. You know, do a little welding.
Assembly required.
Very much so. So I spend the rest of the evening while everyone's going to sleep with, sugar plums dancing around. I'm putting together this chain gun. Well, it's getting around 3 a.m. I'm putting on some decals, putting a little flame job on the barrel. All of a sudden, I hear this giant banging noise on the roof. It's 3 a.m.
Burglars.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
So I decide, today, I become a man. At 6 years old, I'm already thinking this. I think it's hereditary.
There you go.
It was destiny that I get the chain gun this night, I believe, in retrospect. But anyway, so up I climb on the lattice work, and as I peer over the lip of the roof, there's a big, fat, drunk, homeless guy in a red smoking jacket staring at me like a drunk hoot owl, trying to take a dump in my chimney. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, hey, little boy, you get back to bed. I said, no, you go back to bed. I pull the trigger on this minigun. I figure, no time like the present. I send him shooting off the back of the roof into the flower bed. But it also spooked the 6 elk that were tied to a sled that was sitting up on the roof. So I decided to light them up. But they start freaking out, flying all over the place, hoofing me in the shoulder blade, antlers in my kneecap. And I'm like, hey, wait a second, this isn't wrestling. And I start unloading on them. I start picking them off like a skeet shoot. I take out all 6 of them. I clear the whole roof, but now I gotta clean up the place. So I'm a little upset, so I decide that I'm gonna take it out on the elk. I make one into a rug for my mother. She was very proud the next day, I gotta say.
That's a thoughtful gift.
Sister received a lucky hoof, brother received a stuffed elk head, and father received a big, fat, red smoking jacket. And after that, Christmas was saved. We buried everyone in the backyard, and we never spoke of it again.
You saved Christmas.
I saved our lives is what I saved.
I think we've all learned a very valuable lesson today that, Vinny, I'm not going to make fun of you about this minigun thing as much. I'm still going to do it, but just not as much.
Fair
because
enough.
I can understand because you're very impressionable as a 6-year-old boy, and you saved Christmas there.
And I was able to make presents for each of them.
Exactly, because what would have happened had that drunk guy made those elk stampede down the street? Onto a playground. Who knows?
I don't even want to think about it.
I now have, like a kinship with the minigun, if you will.
All right. Frank and Vinny here. Gonna take a quick break. Gonna go, take care of business. Whatnot. Don't get personal. All right. We'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Back here, 96.2 Gear Talk with Vinny and Frank.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
All right now, we've been talking about weapons, and for your pleasure and information, I have brought with me to the studio a minigun.
Jesus.
Yes, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you through the maintenance, mechanics, basic information, knowledge about the minigun, so you'll be better prepared to use this weapon. I'm just gonna grab it.
It's just kind of weird because, he's got this glazed look on his eye here with this fucking minigun.
Fucking heavy. All right, here's the minigun.
It is. That's a beautiful weapon, though. I gotta be honest with you.
I'm telling you, look at this. I cleaned it last night.
Have you been working out?
You
look good. When you picked that up, I saw the guns.
You saw that,
I saw them, the pythons.
This helps.
It's like working with a jackhammer.
Exactly, without the jacking. All right, gonna walk you through this, all right? First thing you do, you grab the chamber handle. You're going to want to lock and load this thing, all right? Just like that. You hear the sound, and you are ready to fire.
You stupid idiot! Hold it up! Take your hand off the trigger, Vinny!
Hold on. I got it. I'm sorry.
How many times you want to shoot the new intern? You know how hard it is to get an intern with cans like that?
I thought the safety was on. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. Keep the safety on.
Hey, you're leaking titty juice on my sandwich there, sweet tits. I'm not paying for that hoagie.
Okay, listen,
Jesus, you're going to clean that up. That's you.
I will clean it up.
I'm not taking a rap for this one. You're going to have to explain to the boss why you thought it was appropriate to shoot the intern in a titty with a minigun. That comes out of this show's liquor bill.
What?
You heard what I said.
Listen, normally this sort of thing doesn't happen, all right? This way you can learn through our mistakes.
Oh, this never happens. What about the time that we had the Paradise City coach, the rugby coach up here, and you were showing off with your flamethrower, and you burned his head off, and you thought it was funny?
Well...
You laughed at him on radio.
Did you see his hair?
Yeah, it was funny, but I didn't...
was.
You know, I don't think it's appropriate, to make fun of a guy who's on fire. You wanted to piss... Hey, let's piss his head off. I said, no, let's put it out. I was the eye of reasonables. You can't do a radio show and do a part of that radio show and bring up weapons and shoot people who aren't expecting to get shot. We had that tour come true here, wanting to see the studio, live broadcast of Gear Talk Radio. All the fans came up here, and you came in with a bunch of homing rockets, all right? You'd been drinking, and you drove your car down the hallway, and then parked it next to me and told the boss that I did it.
I told the receptionist clearly the day before that I was going to be doing this and to keep everyone clear of the hallway.
Writing a note on a missile and shooting it at the receptionist does not count as a memo.
It does when it sticks to the desk.
Now you're just getting technical. This'll be, I swear to God, this is the last time you bring a weapon up in here. You've killed so many people. Last week you wanted to do the laser mines, right? And you thought it was funny, we had that Cuban intern guy that didn't speak English, and you just said, hey, Babaloo, and he comes screaming down the hallway and hit that laser thing, and booyah, you blew him up into the ceiling fan and laughed about it, and then you came over to me and said, hey, you want to listen to this? I taped it. That's not funny. That's not good radio, all right?
That's not my problem.
Because you were drinking and brought a weapon to work. That's a real good leg. Run with that. The lawyer's going to just get you off on that when you tell the judge, yeah, I was the guy who brought a bolt gun and electrocuted 6 cats outside the radio station as a promo.
It's reasonable.
You did that, though.
I did.
I think that's a retributional. All right, listen, you just listen. Promise me right now, to me and all our listeners, that you are never going to bring any weapons in again, all right?
After today.
All right, well, you've already brought in a minigun. I mean, that's done.
Well, that's one of the things I brought.
You brought more weapons in.
Well, yeah, this is weapon day.
Please tell me you're joking. This is...
No.
List.
What, you're telling me that if I were to have, say, a lunchbox full of hand grenades,
God.
That would be a bad thing?
Yes, I think it would be a bad thing if you had a lunchbox full of hand grenades, Vinny.
Take a look at them.
Oh, those are nice.
Huh?
I like those.
See?
It's hard, Vinny, to be the drunkest one, but the responsible one.
Yeah, I know. Hey, okay. Hot potato.
Hey, whoa! Hey, where's the pin? Where's the pin, Vinny?
Well, the pin's right here.
Open the fucking window. We got like 3 seconds here. Hi! Heads up! God, that drew him through that window.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, I got an idea. Give me one of those. All right, check this out. Throw it out the window. Hey, buddy, little help, huh? He's gonna go get it. Ow!
Ooh! Good eye, good eye.
Whoa! All right, how many grenades we got left there?
Let's see. I brought my usual baker's dozen.
All right.
So 2 away. That leaves 11.
All right. Turn this mic off real quick. Hey, listen. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna have a radio promo thing. Just go with me, all right?
Okay.
My mic back on, please.
Right.
All right. 96.2 Gear Talk Radio 555-4327. Want to invite all the listeners to come hang out in the parking lot. We are gonna have a concert in which Mason is going to play live tonight. Totally free concert, free beer, and the first 1,000 people to come get $1,000 each. So come on down to 96.2 Gear Talk Radio, the parking lot. Try to stand underneath the open window on the 7th floor. That's where Mason will be doing his guitar solo. And me and Vinny will be there throwing out prizes. Chocolate hand grenades for everyone.
There'll be a big red circle right on the sidewalk where you need to be.
All right, I think that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh? Get some people down here and put some T-shirts on some fans.
Marketing genius, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be giving out free T-shirts.
We're going to wrap them inside. We're going to take the grenades and put them inside a T-shirt cannon. We're going to fire them from the 7th floor of our building. One of the grenades will be live. The other 9 are going to be with the pins to the fans. Whoever gets the grenade without the pin loses.
Classic.
I got a complaint right now.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little steamed.
Frank's got a beef.
If I were a tea kettle, I'd be going, doo, cute like that, you'd know it would be tea time, I'll tell you that.
All right, bring your scones.
All right, here it goes. Went down to Uncle Woody's theme park last night.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, guess what?
What?
None of the rides are turned on.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah, so, and here's the thing, though. They don't
They
tell
still
you.
got the fence on the roller coaster?
Yep, they got the fence up. They got the pirate ship. Nobody's on the boat.
Yeah.
A mutiny has occurred.
What a waste.
But the thing is they charge you. They say, have fun.
Uh-huh.
How can I have fun?
You kicking gravel? What?
Exactly. The only plus to it being not as packed as I thought it would be was that instead of having to walk around a theme park, I just drove. People got out of my way. You know, I waited in line with my car, and when it was my turn to get on, I just honked, get out of my way.
How were the concessions?
They weren't bad. You know, a lot of times it's hard to get a nice cold drink at 40, you know, because they don't like that. They don't have drive-thrus in the amusement park. But the interesting thing is that they will not allow you to drive your cars on the roller coaster.
Very true.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, this is a bad idea. I told the guy, he said, you already got a car on there. You got 6 of them. There are people in it right now. The only difference is mine got a sunroof.
Tied together, too.
He kept telling me, he says, not that kind of car, sir. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? 4 wheels, vehicle. You got 4 wheels, vehicle. Out of the way. So I threw him.
Good for you.
So I grabbed him and I got some duct tape, and I duct taped him to the front of my vehicle, and I went and I did all the loops on that roller coaster. This guy was screaming, just screaming. Then I stopped and I said, next time I ask to drive on this, you say yes, sir. I slap you high fives, you tell your friends you know me, and then I go do this. Otherwise, you're gonna be my hood ornament.
What were you driving?
It's a Beam. It is. It's the fastest, you know, through the park. You know, if you don't want to get out of your car and you're in a hurry, driving around, because, you know,
It looks like a roller coaster car.
Yeah, and if you hit somebody, it really doesn't hurt them. You know, a lot of people, they say, what's that on my shoe? Oh, it's a bean. Okay, let me hose that off.
Sure.
You know, and the good thing is well, every time it was my turn to ride the Ferris wheel, you know, I just picked up my bean and put it in my pocket.
Sure.
That's how small it is. Yeah, the phone's just lit up. All right, hey, caller, you're on the air. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh.
Hi, this is Renee.
How are you?
I wanted to tell you guys that I broke down in Lava Falls, and it's really hot out here.
You need someone to give you a mammogram?
No. I was just wondering if somebody could come and help me jumpstart my car.
God damn, Renee, you sound hot. I tell you, I could do it. I'm doing a radio show, but if you got, you know, you could wait 2 hours, get nice and sweaty, you know, maybe you run around and, you know, throw a garden hose on yourself, get all wet, and then I come down there, creep up on you and fix your tire, if you know what I mean.
I'm waiting for you to come and pick me up.
Well, let me sober up a bit and kick the shit out of this radio show, and I'm going to zip down there and pick you up. Hey, Renee, you know, tell me what you look like.
I'm about 5'9".
Oh.
Long red hair.
Damn.
Green eyes.
Shit.
Freckles on my shoulders.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I used to date a girl back in high school that looked like you. Well, she sounded like you too, but she'd never have phone sex with me. Then she broke up with me because I got webbed toes.
What are you going to be wearing?
I'm going to be wearing overalls with no t-shirt. I got a Ted Zeppelin tattoo on my arm.
Wow.
I never wear underwear, and if I do, there's a good chance they're leather. Hairy back, right hand I'll be holding a 40-ounce can of beer. I'm a romantic type. I like to romanticize the women and whatnot like that. I got one big eyebrow. I cuss a lot. I smell. But, I think a lot of women like that. You sound like that kind of woman. I'm going to come down there and I'm going to pump your tire up. And then, I think maybe we should get to know each other. Maybe we go out for a few drinks. Maybe I get drunk, you drive me home because I can't drive. And then all of a sudden I got to stay at your place. And, you and your sister run around and have a wrestle match. Hey, I tell you what, I got to do this little radio show here. But after I get off, I'll drive down there in my Blade, which is a very expensive car, which means I have money. And I think you'd probably like that, huh? What do you say?
Okay, well, Frank, I'll be waiting on the side of the road for you.
All right, you give me a few minutes here. I got to go to a commercial break, and I'll be down there and knock the teeth out your beaver, all right? Vin, run that commercial. All right, let's talk weapons. Next on my list here is the Twister rocket.
I like this one.
This is one of the funnier weapons to me. It does a good amount of damage. You hit a car with this thing and they're going to know it.
Sure.
The beauty of this weapon is, though, it tends to stun people really, really good.
I think the number one benefit of this weapon is the stun factor.
I like to shoot it right at the rear end of a car. I stun the tail gunner, the wingman, whatever you want to call them.
Uh-huh.
He's all stunned. He's, looking around like, he was at a concert and smoked a big one and someone left him there.
Right.
He has no idea that he just got smacked by a twister rocket, you know?
What was that?
It's crazy.
Where did that come from?
Sometimes I'll just pull up to the back and point and start laughing at him, and he's all confused. What are they laughing at? He looks down, his zipper's up, he's got his pants on. It's funny. It really is funny. It's like when your grandpa gets too drunk and he doesn't want to admit it, and everybody kind of watching him out of the corner of their eye, watching him pick his nose or get confused by the remote. It's like that. They get hit so hard that for quite a while they don't even know what language they speak. It's like watching retarded kids fuck, man. I tell you.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's interesting. You want to stay around and see what it's all about. You heard things and you want to see if they really do got trick pots and shit like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you unless you're drunk, it's really not that fun. You just kind of hang out and hope, maybe one of them, does something funny with, says something stupid or something.
Right, but you don't want to heckle them, though.
No, you never heckle them when they're doing that, because some of those swole-faced kids, boy, they get all mad,
They're very sensitive.
I often think that they should take them and they should put them in football camps.
Oh, good.
Well,
yeah.
Number one, you save money on helmets. None of them wear helmets because, some of those kids could take a shovel to the head, right? And it's not exactly going to fuck up their math skills.
Right, that's saving $50 a piece.
Yeah, the men's is not going to come down on them for missing the last test. You know what I'm saying? So, you put them there, maybe, one of them gets a scholarship or something like that. You jack them up with steroids.
Sure.
Put them on the front line there and, sack a few quarterbacks. Put you on a box of retarded cereal or something.
What else was he going to do?
Maybe they start their own buy it at home channel. You buy merchandise on the television, whatnot, those type of shows.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're buying because you can't understand them because they can't read the fucking cue cards. So you just put a price on their forehead, they walk out with the merchandise. But make sure it's all heavy shit because it's funny to watch retarded people lift up heavy stuff because they get frustrated because they don't understand that this couch isn't going to be able to go through the window. You got to take to the fucking door. Those puzzles that you give infants, same fucking thing. You could, if it wasn't an infant, I'd get mad at my son for not being able to do it right the first time.
Right.
There's only one triangle. Figure it out.
Come on.
Sometimes I'll just let the TV stay on, and let them watch colors. I tell them all sorts of shit's happening. There's a shootout, and we're watching the news and stuff, and I make-believe stuff. For all they know, they're paying 100% taxes. You can roll up, you can take them off the truck, you could do whatever you want with them. Gauchos, did you hear that? Huh? You guys got that? Yeah, the Gauchos are going to go buy this thing by the fucking crate.
Oh, definitely. That's the beauty of the weapon, though. You can stun the participant, the occupant, and then turn tail and get out of there. Or you can continue to, light them up with, let's say, I don't know, a
minigun.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that. That's for you. That's all for you, Vin.
I was trying to cut down on the minigun comments, but, I see you coming around to my point of view now, huh?
One time, my mom used to do this. We used to drive to the drive-in movie theaters, and she would launch off a twister rocket, and the guy would be all stunned and whatnot at the booth. We're trying to pay. He's all stunned, and my mom says, I gave you a 20. She ain't even paid yet. I gave you a 20, and he just started forking over cash. He didn't fucking know. He's stunned as shit. And
oh, that's brilliant.
My mom says, hold on, where are the keys to the cash box? I'm here to do a withdrawal. He'd give those over, and by the time he come to figure out that we had just robbed the joint, my mom hit him with another stun. 2 hot dogs, please, in the back row, and we get free hot dogs. So you can use this in a myriad of ways. It's a great weapon. I just said myriad.
You did. I'm very proud of you.
I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
You are. Hey, does it cause any permanent damage? Like, you just got a buddy, you want to, get his attention?
Well, just shoot him once.
Okay.
That's like, just shoot him once, he'll get the point, Say you want to be valedictorian in your high school, right?
Okay.
Show up the day of the big test, launch this off at the smart kid, which is always easy to pick out because he's sitting next to the Chinese kid, copying his test. The truth is now known, right? So you launch it at him, they fuck up the test, the curve drops, and you pass. That's how I got through college.
Just goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, little work goes a long way.
So that's how you use the twister rocket.
Yeah, I hope that was informative for anybody, who may want to buy one or already has one. I hope we helped you out a bit. I love this weapon. Anyone giving any of them away for free, bring them on down, right?
Yeah, I'll take 2.
I'll take a coffee, too, if you're bringing stuff down. All right, let's move on to another weapon. Vinny, do you have any weapons you'd like to discuss?
If you don't mind, I'd like to mention a little weapon here that I think everyone should have if you're going to stock weapons on your vehicle. That being the EMP.
Ah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
That wasn't even on my list. I overlooked it completely.
Really?
I am an idiot.
You're kidding me. Okay, the thing about the EMP, for those you listeners who don't know or haven't heard, the EMP is basically, it's not a fire weapon, it doesn't blow things up. What it does is it sends out an electrical pulse, cuts off all electrical equipment. Like, let's say you're listening to your radio, you're driving down the street, EMP goes off around you, your car stops. You can't steer, you can't brake, you can't do shit.
You're
all right?
screwed. You're pretty much screwed. And there's no jump starting your thing after this, all right? This thing is awesome. It could take out telephones. It could take out street lights. It could take out any electrical part of a car, like you said. So say it was a real hot day and you had your windows up. This thing goes off, the EMP goes off, those windows ain't coming down, buddy. The bad thing is, too, is you can't get out of your car won't run, none of your weapons are gonna fire because they're all electrical induced. You're pretty much screwed. You're like that big fat duck on first day of duck hunting that's just sitting out there in the middle of that duck pond flicking off hunters. You're toast. You're gonna be a feather cap for some Indian in a reservation casino.
I tell you what else, too. It does a real bad number on your eardrums.
Oh, it'll light you up. It will light you up. I'm telling you, the EMP, I like to call it E, stands for everyone. M, must, P, pay. Everyone must pay, because that's what this weapon does. You know, Vin, one of my favorite things to do with the EMP is I like to go over to Paradise City. You know, and they got a lovely, lovely new arena over there. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it is nice.
It's beautiful. I seen it.
It is spectacular. Well, I like to do a lot of people watching and whatnot, so I hang out in the parking lot, and I watch the people come and go and whatnot. Some of them are making out in their vehicles. Well, then I'll just launch off my EMP, disabling everyone around me, which puts advantage to me. They're all sitting there in the cars that don't work with weapons that won't fire, and I just sit back and I just let a few have it with my cluster rockets. Because, you know, sometimes you want to kill just to kill. You know, you're not defending yourself. This ain't the Alamo. You just go, you know what, I had a hard day. I'm going to take it out on a few people. All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Feel free to call in at 555-4327 or the word gear. We've been going through a list of weapons today, you know, just to kind of talk to the people and stuff.
Education.
True. Me and Vin have been talking about weapons that we like, and the next on my list, Vin, is the cluster rocket.
That's a good choice.
I'm a huge fan of the cluster rocket. Everybody knows that I've always had one. I've always used one. The thing I like about the cluster rocket is it's not one missile. It's not two. It's up to 10. Okay? It's like going in somewhere and saying, yeah, could I get one can of beer? And all of a sudden, you got 10 in front of you.
And you only paid for one.
That's the beauty of this cluster rocket, all right? The thing I like, really, is that once you launch one, it hits your target, the guy's thinking, holy shit, I just got hit by a missile. Then he's got 9 ugly cousins coming in from behind. Bam, 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 bam. 10 missiles hit this guy. You hit him once with a nice cluster rocket, and it's going to work. This guy's not going to crawl away. He's not going to roll away. He's just going to sit there and smoke.
You know, we were talking about the dumbfire rocket earlier.
Yeah.
This times 10. For the money, you might as well hold off for a couple of weeks, however long it takes you to get the extra cash together.
Exactly.
And go in for the cluster rocket.
Exactly. Now, if I were to come up to you and say I was a rocket salesman, and I said, hello, sir, how are you? Are you in the market for a rocket?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Would you like to buy this one rocket, or would you like to have 10?
I would like 10, sir.
Of course you will, because you're a smart individual.
Thank you very much.
That's the beauty of the cluster rocket. You know, to be honest, it's for people with bad aim.
True.
You can fire up to 10 rockets, people. It's just that simple. You know, I feel like I got to do an infomercial on these things. But you know what? They sell themselves. That's the beauty of these rockets. One of them's going to hit. 10 of them might hit. 6 may hit. Either way, it's going to destroy any opponent that you might have.
Your odds are better than a lottery.
Exactly. It's like having 10 scratch-offs, okay? But you only bought one. Where did the other 9 come from? You don't know.
And you only paid $1 for the first one.
Exactly. I think it is one of the best rockets made. Let me rephrase that. It's the best 10 rockets made, because it's not a rocket. It's rockets.
I also like the fact that, you know, like, say you got a bottle of soda, right?
Yeah, right.
You open that, you look at the top, and what does it say? Sorry, Please continue to drink our soda, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with the cluster rocket, everyone's a winner. Yes, you win.
Win.
Yes, you win.
Free t-shirt.
One more time. Yep, you win.
Exactly. And don't, if you're a listener, don't go quoting me and saying, oh, but you said it's a guaranteed hit. Let me just say this. Nothing's a guaranteed, okay? I thought my wife was gonna stay, slutty and good looking and whatnot. Well, I was wrong, okay? That's not a guarantee. I'll rephrase that. The chances of you getting a hit are greater. Okay, it's like a scattergun. A scattergun shoots out a large blast radius. You got a better chance of hitting your target, right? This is like a rocket shotgun almost. It really truly is almost a rocket shotgun. It's like someone took a regular rocket and gave it steroids. And then this steroid rocket had 9 kids. And they won't leave the original rocket alone and they just follow them around like a bunch of drunk cousins.
Not a pretty sight.
I just, I gotta be honest, they're powerful. You can, launch, 9 to 10, 6, 5. Yeah, it's your choice. You figure it out, I try to use as many as possible, frankly. But one of the best things to do with this, I just love to do this. I'm so excited. I'm getting a little giddy over here.
Go ahead, come on.
I like to launch my cluster rockets right when I hit a ramp, right? And I send those boys right up into the air, and little kids are running around thinking it's 4th of July. They're looking up there, hey, there's a fireworks show. And their moms and dads are like, holy shit, what's going on, honey? What's that calendar say? They run inside to check the fucking calendar just because I'm kicking a whole lot of ass out on the street, you're busting a lot of heads if people are running inside to see if it's 4th of July just because your rockets are hitting up in the air, you know what I mean? It's impressive to see, that's my point. That you see someone with cluster rockets, you're not dealing with a rookie.
Make a note of it.
Write it down if you have to, but cluster rockets are here to stay. I don't think they're going nowhere. And don't nobody try to copy my moves.
Simple respect.
Yeah, I had the bean, and they were like, well, what weapons you want on this? And I said, put a cluster rocket on it, right? And this guy, he says, all right, use that cluster rockets. I said, that's right. Come on, Pat Peep. Smack them on there and don't use none of that Indian tape. And so he put them on there, and I'm like, all right, well, let's see what these boys do. So I get up to about 25, 30 miles an hour, right? And I start launching off these cluster rockets. Next thing I know, I'm in goddamn reverse because these things are so powerful and the bean is so light, it sent me backwards.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't even need the reverse so long as you got cluster rockets in the bean.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, I wish I could point them towards the cement and throw myself on top of buildings.
Hey!
To be like a supercar, super bean, wear a fucking cape and shit and solve crimes with an old lady, who's good at like fingerprinting shit, she's real analytical, she can, find out what happened here, she's got a palm tree, she's questioning that, shake the coconuts off it, what did you see?
It's so original.
She'd be like the Intimidator. Everybody thinks it's going to be me and you smacking people around. Nah, this old lady comes in there and says, I'm going to put my old puss on you unless you tell me who did the bank job.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
I know you have, Vin. I'm excited too because we are about to talk about the airstrike.
It's one of the more elusive weapons we have. I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but it does the job. I tell you that.
I'll tell you this. If you've ever seen someone launch one of these off, you know it. You know that you've just seen an airstrike, all right? It's not like you go, hey, I don't know what that was. It was an airstrike. That's what it was. The beauty of this weapon, I just think it's such a cool weapon, Some weapons are great. Some are, they suck. This one's just cool. It's fun, It really is. And I can see why it's never gone out of fashion. People have always loved this weapon from day one to today. This weapon is so awesome. What you do is you launch it, right? And this shoots this flashing beacon, which is just kind of cool. It's flashing there. And then all of a sudden, it kind of absorbs the environment around it, sticks to it, if you will. And then you kind of get out of the area, honestly, and a timer starts, and you're like, oh, shit, okay, hold on. And then all of a sudden, it's like God started pissing grenades on this guy. All these bombs just start dropping out. It's like an aerial assault, but nobody knows where it comes from.
I think that's part of the beauty of it. It's like poetry in motion, if you will.
I got hit by an airstrike about 2 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah, and I'm lucky to be even here right now talking, okay?
I'm telling you.
And I'm telling you, you'll remember when you get hit by it, all right?
I guess so.
Seriously, this guy gets behind me, right? And he launches off on me, and I see this beacon. And it's all weird looking and everything, and I'm thinking, well, the guy misfired, or one of his weapons didn't go. Made it look like kind of, well, what the hell's going on? Was it a backfire? Did his weapon blow up? I don't really know. So I'm sitting around and I'm hanging out, and I'm thinking, well, I'm just gonna wait for him to drive back around the corner, and then I'm gonna ice his ass, right? Shouldn't have done that. not have done that because I swear, all of a sudden, it was like 40 of these bombs come dropping out of the air from an aerial assault. And I'm thinking, did this guy rent a chopper? You know, what is he like on a passenger jet or something like that? Does he got an agreement with God that, you know, God will drop bombs on people, you know, if he prays hard enough? I don't know, but I'll tell you this, I lost my car that day and I limped all the way home.
You can't get rid of it with your windshield wipers either.
Yeah, no, there's no scrubbing this off, okay? I think it's great because oftentimes people will look in front of them, left, right, behind. If the enemy is not there, the enemy's not there, right? No one ever looks up.
Yeah.
All right, like I've told you, my dad used to drink a lot, but he was a good guy, all right? So I always wanted this radio-controlled little tank, right? And my dad, said, you got to be good, and, I wasn't the best kid. So for like a week, I was good. I didn't leave the house, I didn't kill anyone's animals, I wasn't doing anything bad. I was a good kid, right? So my dad, the nice guy that he is, he goes down and he gets me this remote-control tank, right? Well, he doesn't tell me that he went and picked himself up an airstrike. So I'm sitting outside thinking that I'm the patent of the remote control tank industry. And I'm playing with this tank and, I got imaginary wars going on with soda pop bottles and whatnot. I'm driving it up to the hookers saying, hey, let me blow you for a change. And they thought I was cute. Here's this little kid with his tank and whatnot. And so I get bored and the hookers, they run off because they don't like my dad because, he's got a reputation. So my dad says, hey, you want to play Army? And I'm like, hell yeah, Dad, let's go. I get in my camouflage, and I got my tank, and I'm thinking, well, I got infantry, and I got armory. I'm ready to go. Come on, Dad. And so I get out in the middle of the street, and I take a defensive position, and I'm waiting all day for my dad to come around that corner, because this time I'm going to win. So I sit there, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. About an hour goes by, and I'm thinking, Dad's really good at war. He's really good at this. That's what it is. I don't see him. Maybe he's sitting in next to me. So I look inside the trash cans and whatnot, and he's not. So another hour goes by, and I think, oh, well, shit, now he's probably drunk. So I got to watch myself because when my dad gets drunk, he actually, he's playing war for real now. He has a flashback real quick, like, he'll just, oh, geez, and just, doot, and he just gets you. So then another hour goes by. And now I've been in this trash can for 3 hours. And I'm thinking, where the hell is he? And so the minute I stand up and yell, hey, Dad, are we playing or what? He says, you're goddamn right we're playing. And out of the air comes this friggin' airstrike raining down bombs on me. And thank God I was an 8-year-old kid and very, very fast because I got out of there. But he blew up my tank. And to this day, I can't see an airstrike go off of a tank without just crying.
Ah, Frank, get a hold of yourself.
That was my tank, Dad.
Yeah, take it easy, Frank, easy. Why don't you take a second to compose yourself? Here, take a tissue. Hey, listen, we're going to take a little break here. Hopefully when we come back, Frank will have himself composed a little bit more together, and we'll talk more about the weapons, all right? We'll be back in a second.
That was my tank.
We have a foothold in the transportation of beer. We are strong. They are weak. We will stamp out the competition for the motherland. Those who do not drink the Kleinschlanger will be shot. Put them against the wall. Today is the day we have been preparing for. We will control the city's beer empire. Let the other beer companies feel the rage of Kleinschlanger. Victory will be ours. We will stop the production. We will stop the trucks. We will drink the blood of our competitors. The chosen beer for the chosen people. The Kleinschlanger! The Kleinschlanger! The Kleinschlanger! Der Kleinschlanger!
Pick up a 12-pack at your local grocery store today. Der Kleinschlanger, the beer of a new empire.
All right, we're back. 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Frank here's feeling much better, I think.
Yeah, I feel much better. I want to apologize to the listeners there. I lost my mind there for a couple seconds. I got a few cans in me. I'm all right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Frank. Everybody, everybody's got emotions.
Yeah, mine come out, sometimes, and, it's inappropriate and stuff, but, with the support of the listeners and everything, I do believe that they will forgive me.
I know they have. We've taken a few phone calls. Everything's gravy. Moving on here. still keeping with the same topic of weapons, let's go on to the homing rocket. What do you say, Frank?
Oh, I love the homing rocket. I like to call it my homing boy. Because nothing is better than a homing rocket, a very dependable weapon. I love this. It's like a game almost, because there you are sitting in your car, you got some jackass in front of you, and you're like, this guy's getting it. He is getting it. Let's say he gets a little bit ahead of you, right? You just let it target, and all of a sudden you hear, boo. That means you got lock on. Now, once you got lock on, it doesn't matter. He could move to the Bronx, okay? And, set up shop and get on top of a building. That rocket will find him. All right? It's like the IRS of rockets. It's going to get you.
It does the work for you.
It will hit you, and when it does, these things pack a wallop. I mean, they hit harder than my drunk Aunt Linda.
Really?
It's like the ugly girl in high school that wouldn't leave you alone. When you're walking down the halls and she's sweating you behind you, hey, Frank, well, you're going to take me to prom and stuff like that, and you can't shake her. It's basically the same thing. The homing rocket does the same thing. It does not leave you alone, okay? It doesn't. Until you take the ugly girl and pin her up against the locker, she'll follow you all day. That's what you got to do with this. You got to be tricky to outrun these things, and good luck doing that.
Well, sure.
I like to call this the idiot weapon because it does all the work for you. It's like the Chinese kid who was good in math and took the test for you. Same thing. So I like to say that this thing was specifically designed for Vinny over here.
Hey, wait a second. And I'm not an idiot.
Well, but you're not exactly a member of Mensa either,
I didn't pass math.
All right.
What are you going to do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this weapon is specifically for you. It's so easy. It's like it's got a brain of its own. It knows where to go. You kind of just point it in a direction. You drive up next to the target, and it goes, doo, and I love that. I got to be honest. I love the noise of, doo. I just like doing that,
I can tell.
I do. And I got to be honest, when I used to just have dumbfire rockets, I used to act like they were homing rockets, and so I'd go, doo. And, then I'd launch them. My friends bought it for a while, up until, the damn thing wouldn't follow anything. But that's what's beautiful about this. You could be completely stupid, and still hit a target multiple times. Just keep launching these things. And it is awesome. You can switch targets. You got two guys in front of you, launch one left, launch one right. I'm telling you, if you're even remotely close, it's going to whack both of them. And the beauty of this weapon, too, is it'll shoot over a hill. If you're driving and there's a little bump in the road, some train tracks or whatnot, and your target goes over that, and so long as it's still red, that missile will go over the hill and find them almost every time. It finds a way to get there. It's like the mail.
And it's one button. It's easier than a toaster.
Exactly. And a lot of people get confused by toasters. It's so easy. I'll tell you this. You'll have a harder time putting your keys in your car than you will launching this weapon.
I'm telling you, there's no light or dark setting on this thing.
A guy with no arms, one eyebrow, and two nostrils could fire this weapon. You could fire it with just your nose. You don't even need hands. Once it goes, doo, you mash your face down on a button and that rocket goes.
I think that's a good promotion for the Gear Talk radio station.
I do too,
Let's get some callers in. 555-GEAR. We're going to take the first 10 callers. We're going to put Frank's theory to test.
Exactly. Dumb people unite, call us up. Now, I don't want some guy who, hey, I'm a teacher, or hey, I got a regular job, or I can count, or, I speak English. I don't need that. I want the dumbest people on earth. Get someone to help you dial the phone. Call us up. We'd like you to come down, and we're going to do some target practice just to prove a cow could shoot this weapon. The number one winner, whoever wins this, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and do this because I have a personal collection of homing rockets still at the house.
You're not going to do it.
The fans give to us, why not us give to the fans?
Guys, if you miss this contest, you're going to kick yourself in the ass tomorrow.
You are, and very hard, too, because you deserve it. I'm going to give a set of homing rockets away to the dumbest person who gets the most hits, okay? It's very easy. If you're homeless, if you're a prostitute, if you're in the gauchos, not to rag on the gauchos, but if you're one of the gauchos, just come on down there because, they're not the brightest people because of them big stupid hats. I figure if the gauchos can hit somebody with this weapon, do I need to say anything else?
Yeah, out of the gangs in town, the gauchos are definitely the dumbest.
Yeah, and they look the dumbest, too. All right, now I'm excited because this is the weapon I've been waiting to talk about all day long, the sniper rifle. There's nothing negative you can say about this weapon except for the fact that you can't be moving when you use it. It's kind of ineffective. You actually have to stop and use it. But that's all right because it's a stealth weapon. You could actually park anywhere you want and be very, very far away from your target and still take his eyebrows off. You understand what I'm saying? Now, what I like to do is I'll sit at a four-way stop out in front of some busy intersection, and I'll pop one guy. Right?
Yeah.
Now, this draws a crowd. People are like, hey, the dead guy flopping around like a fish. Let's go laugh at him. And so they come running up and they start looking at him. And I'll pop everyone that stops to look. And after a while, you could pop 30, 40 people in a day very easily. You could almost wipe out an entire gang doing that, just that. It's very easy. Now, again, they're going to come at you, so don't be stupid. But that's what the beauty of this weapon is. So you're so far away that they still got to come at you. Now, as they walk at you, you can see them coming. You can pop them on the way over. You could even wave and say, hey, guys, I'm over here. And as they run at you, start icing them. It works. It's such a funny thing. It's like a good practical joke with a bullet.
A lot of times, too, the sniper rifle will start confusing people. You know, they're like, which way do, you know, maybe I run up the street this way. No, wait, hold on. I'll go this way. I'll go the other way. Oh, there's a truck. I'll jump in front of it. No, I shouldn't. You know, it's what the fuck is going on?
It's awesome. You know, I think it's great because you get to choose. You know, it's your turn. You get to choose. That guy lives, that one dies. That guy lives, that one dies. You know, and it's kind of neat. It's like hunting. You know, I miss the old days when I could go out hunting with my dad and whatnot. We don't hunt no more. But I still can. You know what I mean? I still get the feeling of hunting, but I get the action of killing people that I hate.
Sure.
Yeah. What I like to do, though, is, you know those fucking daredevils?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like them. Now, some people like them. I personally don't. Now, I'm not going to sit here and badmouth them and say that they did this to me or that to me. They really haven't done much to me. But with the sniper rifle, what I like to do is I like to try to shoot those little points off their heads. Because they work on those so long. They just sit there and do their hair, and then they're walking around saying, hey, look at me. Look at my pointy head. Look at that. I like to try to shoot those off. I don't want to kill them. I just want to give them a haircut. All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. Talking weapons with Vin today. A lot of callers calling in. I want to thank you for calling in. Our next weapon on the list, I'm not a big fan of this one. I got to be honest. I don't use them, so I can't say much about it, but you guys know it as the bolt gun.
You know, I'm really surprised that you don't like this. Pure electricity. Literally. It is.
I understand that, but see, my thing is that back in the day, I had a bolt gun for about a day and a half, and I accidentally launched it off and shot my sister, right? And so I got in trouble for that, and she wanted to get revenge, so she sat in my car all night. When I got up to go to work the next morning, she shot me in the ass, and for the next 2 years, I couldn't feel my ass. I don't like this. I don't like this weapon. You know, it incapacitates a car completely. The car just sits there, and you can go whack happy on them. But I just don't like it. I don't think it's chivalrous.
What was the problem? You know, a lot of people pay good money to get shocked like that.
I know, but, you know, if I'm going to get taken out, take me out the old-fashioned way. You know what I mean? Shoot me, you know, hit me with a homing rocket, a cluster rocket, anything, you know, BGM. Just hit, you know, let's keep the warfare like that. I don't need all these newfangled, you know, weird weapons. I don't need that. Electricity is made to run microwaves and toasters, not to be shooting out of cars.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you on this. Let's say you're a little irritated. You got to get, you know, you got to pick the kids up from the daycare, whatnot. You know, you don't want to really, like, kill him. And you don't have time to stick around and make sure the job's done. You just want to, you know, get his attention. Bolt gun does this.
I can see your point. Honestly, I can. You know, I'm still not a huge fan of this weapon, but I do see your point. Like, if you were sitting next to someone and you wanted to incapacitate their vehicle and then sit back and launch, you know, some other weapons into them, you could. Because they can't move. You got them. You got their attention. And on the other hand, let's say that you're one hit away from meeting Allah, right? You can use this weapon against your enemy and get away. You can actually escape. That's why I kind of don't like it. You know, I don't escape. I'm not running from nothing, you know? All right, so I'm sitting here racking my brain to try to think of something positive to say about the bolt gun. And I've come up with a scenario. So hear me out on this, all right? Let's say that you and a couple of guys go camping, right?
All right.
There you are, you know, Davy Crockett out in the middle of the wilderness with the bobcats, you know, and the lions and shit.
Roughing it.
You're roughing it, right? You're gone fishing, you've been drinking all day, and all of a sudden, you realize no one brought matches, right?
Ah, shit.
You don't have a lighter, no matches, nothing like that, and you want to eat, you know, the cat that you just killed, right? You want to cook this, and you can't eat it raw.
Nope.
Nope, because that's how you get scurvy,
Diseases.
right? What you do is you have one of your buddies crank up your vehicle, right? You shoot the bolt gun at the where the campfire should be. You start your own campfire right there.
That's brilliant. I never thought of that before.
It's like a survival weapon. In that case, I would want a bolt gun, to be quite honest. I really would.
That makes my case for the bolt gun even better right there.
You know, and the funny thing is, too, you could, like, if your neighbors had a pet or something, you could shoot the pet with it, make its hair stand up. That's funny. You know, so, I mean, it has its place, really. If you like, you know, lighting campfires and you're forgetful with matches and stuff like that, or you like to shoot animals and watch their hair stand up, which I do, I think that's funny, then this might be the weapon for you. And it can also jumpstart a car. Like if you break down or something like that, yeah, you know, you don't need jumper cables.
All right, this next weapon I want to discuss, if I may. I think you're going to be very interested in it. I have a feeling a lot of you are going to want to go out and buy it yourself after we tell you all the benefits it gives you.
I've been waiting for this one all day.
Yeah, well, I got to say, I stayed up all night making a few notes, a couple of things I wanted to make sure I touched on. The next weapon we want to discuss is, of course, the BGM. For those of you who don't know what this is a missile that you can guide yourself.
It has a little camera right on the tip of it, right? So when you launch it, you don't have to sit back and go, hey, that's my missile over there about to hit that car. What you can do is you actually become the missile. You can steer it. You could launch this missile, fly it all around town, fly it down an air duct. You could put it in someone's garage. You could fly over where a bridge was knocked out, take it over to the other side. You know, you can do some heavy ass damage with this. Hey, Vin, what does BGM stand for?
You know, I'm not really up on all that scientifical mumbo jumbo whatnot. I call it a big goddamn missile.
That name suits it right there. The beauty of this thing is I like to do this, and some people say it's wasteful, but I like to do this. I'll take my BGM and I'll launch it, right? And I'll just hunt down a person, not a vehicle, not a building, a person. You can laugh all day to the bank when you see someone's head blow right off from a BGM because they don't even know. You could actually be around the corner, right? I could be a mile away from you, sitting in my car in front of my house, and I could launch it from there and drive it all the way into this damn studio and blow this fucking place up.
Oh, look at there. It's a nice little model airplane. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Mommy, look. Oh, that's the boom, dead.
Exactly.
That's why I like the BGM. Big goddamn missile. Steer it right up into their asshole. Your day is over. You're home early, watching sports on the TV, scratching your nuts. You know, one time I was working down at the docks, right? And I worked on one of them big tanker boats. And so I'm sitting there, and I've been drinking. Okay, my fault. Criminal over here for drinking on a job. But I got busted by the boss, right? So I get canned, and I'm thinking, oh, shit, I got to go home and tell my dad I got fired.
Right.
I'm going to get my ass kicked. So I got mad, and my boss is sitting there saying, I'm going to call your old man. I'm telling on you. And I said, you do that, and you're gonna get your ass kicked. Well, this guy was like 300 pounds and 7'2", right? I couldn't kick his ass at all. So what I did do, though, is I borrowed my friend's big goddamn missile, and I sat out in the parking lot, and what they'd done is they'd taken me off the ID list, so I couldn't get into the boat anymore. But I didn't need to. That's the thing. I drove home, got in my vehicle, launched my BGM, and drove it all the way back to that damn boat. And you know why? Because they can't ask a missile for ID. They don't do that. Okay? Missiles don't carry wallets, okay? I snuck it right up to his office, and, the only thing that the missile didn't do was knock on the fucking door, okay? It went right through the window, blew his ass up, and needless to say, my dad never knew I got canned.
Frank, just to let you know, they are working on the knocking.
That would be awesome. If it could knock, Halloween, I could think of 1,000 ways to use this missile.
Get it right up to the door, ring the doorbell, and then back up and then shoot.
Yeah, let's say that you have a BGM.
Okay.
And your enemy or opponent does not have a BGM?
Yay!
Advantage you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're probably definitely going to win it, unless you're some kind of moron and you fly it around too much and he gets behind you and dinks you pretty hard, then you're going to lose. But if you know how to use the weapon...
Set, match, point.
Yes, 40 love. One of the other good things about the BGM missile is, let's say you've been working all day, you want to get a whore, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you don't want to drive over there and look at all 7 or 8 of them, because a few of them are ugly, okay?
There are.
And you don't want to go hogging, all right? You don't want to pump some fat heifer, right?
No.
Send a BGM. It's almost like a pimp missile.
I
okay?
never thought of that.
It's an extension of your penis. You could fire the missile, fly it by the whores, check them out, see which one's ugly, which one has no teeth, which one has web feet. Check them out a little bit, and then the ugly one, you could hit her with the missile, because you don't want to waste the missile. You launched it, you drove it around, you did that. So you loop back around and you hit the ugly one, then show up and say, hey, some guy's firing BGMs off. You girls, get in this car and give me a blowjob. I'll save your lives. It works. You know how many BJs I've gotten because of random big goddamn missiles? A lot of them.
And how many of those did you pay for?
Not a damn one, because I'm a lifesaver rescue man. That's what I do. Some people, I'm not afraid to save whores, okay? I'm not. I say, get your vaginas in the car, ladies, hurry up. There's a wild missile running around. Not you, fat ass. You sit on the curb. And the fat one I hit with a missile, just in case she's got candy inside her and she ends up like a big fucking piñata.
All right, 96.2 Gear Talk Radio. We're going to take a break, pay a few bills. We'll be back. Don't touch the dial.